Hey, what is up, guys, and welcome to this episode of Mugscast.
Today, we're talking about the first of Andrew Garfield's 2 Amazing Spider-Man movies as we lead into Spider-Man No Way Home.
Cheers.
The Amazing Spider-Man, 2012, directed by Mark Webb. Coincidence? I think not. He was destined for this.
All right, so
You know, what are we gonna
sorry,
do?
you're so fucking lame.
What?
You're so lame. Real quick.
You know,
okay. I'm not gonna give.
Most people
any
forget
opinions.
these movies even exist.
I know,
so.
but I'm not gonna give any opinion on it. I'm just gonna say
Leading up to
listen. Leading up to
these are more recent.
They are. No, it's spoilers. It's fine. We're not gonna give a spoiler-free review. We're gonna get into it. What I'm saying is it's spoilers. But before you get into it, before you walk away because they're spoilers, make sure you guys like, subscribe.
Yes.
Come back after you watch it if you haven't seen it. But we're just going to go ahead and hop right into it. So if you haven't seen it, spoilers.
I mean, watch it. Definitely watch
sure.
it. Especially, just like we said with the Mariah movies, without giving away how we feel, just watch it anyway.
Yeah, just watch it
in
anyways.
case,
Yeah.
Anything happens in No Way Home.
Yes.
So, so spoilers, leave now, come back afterwards. If you've never seen this movie, go watch it.
All right.
Here we go. So,
right off the bat, I'm just going to say...
Wait, you're going to say how you feel about it?
Yeah, right off the bat. No, I don't care. I have to.
But let's do spoiler-free.
It is spoiler-free. It's already done. It's done.
But
We're getting into it. We're getting into it. No, we can talk about it. It doesn't matter. I'm saying it right now.
What? Okay.
So this movie, greatest Spider-Man movie in my opinion.
Okay.
Greatest Spider-Man movie. When I say Spider-Man, I say purely Spider-Man. Now, I think the difference between you and I, it's you grew up on Ultimate Spider-Man.
I mean, I didn't really
That's the cartoons you watch most, though. When I was watching
I grew
cartoons...
up watching Spectacular.
Yeah, but even then,
cartoon,
he's still the skater, not emo, but skater, Peter. It's
He's just Peter Parker.
Yeah, he's just Peter Parker, but that's what I'm saying. It's a whole different attitude of the Peter Parker.
Spectacular Spider-Man isn't like this. I mean,
Semi.
Here's the thing, right? People always complain about Peter Parker in these movies.
I don't complain about Peter Parker.
He's too cool.
I know what he's going for.
He's too hot.
Nope.
Blah, blah,
I know what he's going for, and I agree. He's a good Peter Parker.
I'm gonna put it up recently. I saw a tweet recently, like literally just the other day, of somebody saying, somebody comes out every time somebody comes out to me and complains about Andrew Garfield as Peter Parker, they go, Andrew Garfield was a great Spider-Man but a bad Peter Parker, and they say, oh, why's that? And then they proceeds to describe Peter Parker. Everything that he is Peter Parker. He is Peter Parker.
No, he's great.
And the funny thing is, and I had never even thought about this, underneath that tweet in a response, so people always say, oh, he's too hot, he's too attractive. I'm going to put the picture in the video. I saved it so that I could put it in here. It's a picture of 8 or 9 different iterations of Spider-Man.
Parker, yeah.
They're all
attractive.
Absolutely attractive.
Yeah, they're all attractive. Even the older comic book ones.
Even the original one, he was geeky, but
he was dapper.
He was that period's attractive.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
He was dapper. He was never unattractive.
Literally,
if anything, Toby was unattractive compared to what it was supposed to be. Yes,
he has been so attractive. There's a few of them that I'm like, damn.
Yeah. So
give me some of that.
Yes. So that's what I'm saying. So for modernization, he's amazing. Okay, he's easily the best Spider-Man in my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not saying he's a bad Peter Parker at all. He's not. But I grew up on that amazing Spider-Man where he's supposed to be more shy and more subtle. Mm-hmm. He's not supposed to be show-offy, and I think that's where a lot of people say oh, he's too hot because he's show-offy. He's very show-offy in both Spider-Man and Peter Parker form. Peter Parker's supposed to be super low-key.
Yeah.
Super low key.
He's
and
not.
That's
Not in this
not
one.
in this one, exactly.
Not in this one.
And that's okay because
and the second one, yes,
I still love it, dude.
But that's because we'll talk about it when we talk about the second one. But there's a whole arc for him as to why he's so much more confident in the second one.
Yes.
In this one, though, he is so awkward. He's
very awkward
constantly.
Yes, he's awkward. It's great.
No one fucking likes him.
Yes, very awkward.
It's perfect.
Oh, and hold on. I'm gonna put this down for a second because honestly, this deserves this. Flash.
Yeah.
In this movie.
Okay.
I love him. I'm sorry, we're getting ahead. I'm not gonna say why.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say why, but I fucking love him in this movie.
Yeah.
I do. That's a character that I wish was more in the movies. I love him in this.
We have a lot to talk about.
You want to talk about character development?
We have a lot to talk about.
All right. Sorry. Let's go ahead and get into it. I'm sorry. I had to talk about it. I couldn't hold it in anymore.
Let's just set this up though by saying. So I think the biggest thing that people kind of shit on these movies, or just kind of didn't give them the proper look that they deserved is because. Spider-Man 3 came out in 2007, 2008, but maybe late 2007.
I think it was the late 2007, yeah.
And then, this is 2012.
Yeah.
They're rebooting it, and
very hard reboot, by the way. Very hard reboot.
So people it's so weird because people are, they're not ready for that. What the people that view this movie, they view it as, dark, gritty reboot, which is not what they were going for at all.
It's not.
Not even
no,
remotely.
I don't even think it's a dark movie. It has dark moments, but it's not a dark movie.
Yeah, but they were like, they're doing like Batman Begins here.
No,
or like they're trying to do a Dark Knight. No,
not at all.
That's not at all what they're going for here.
No, I think the reason people say that...
It's just it's like the ultimate. It's like the ultimate take on the character.
Yes. The reason they're going for to say that is because his parents are on the run and blah, blah, blah. And that's why people are saying that. It's because it's like, it's a much darker beginning.
It is a visually darker movie.
It is.
It's actually like, this one is not bright and colorful or anything. It is a darker looking movie, if you want to get technical.
And that suit, though. Bro.
Well, wait.
Sorry, I had to.
Right, hold on.
I forgot how awesome that reveal is. That's all I'm going to say. I'm so sorry, but like, I'm excited about this movie. I am. I told you I was. I told you I was.
No, you're
right. I told you I can't wait to talk about this.
By what I think. I knew you were going to love it.
No. You're going to be surprised by my take on the second movie. Well, I'm not even going to talk about that.
All right. Well, anyway, yeah. So I think, that coupled with it hadn't been that long and people were just so attached to these movies, and people also complain so much about, we don't want to see the origin again. We don't want to see this again.
No, this is a good origin.
Bro, you've only seen it once. Why were people complaining about it
It's true.
Goddamn much?
You want to know what I think it is? You ready for this?
Sure.
I think Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3 ruined it.
Ruined what?
The origin story. Because they literally talk about his origin story in all three movies. They literally flash back to his origins.
That's a great point.
In all three movies.
That's a great point.
That's exactly what the problem is.
Everybody was like, God damn, we've had enough of this.
Yes, it's true. It's funny because leading up to this, right, I was like, this is the best Uncle Ben we've ever had. And this is I was wrong.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, it's a great Uncle Ben. It is a good This Uncle Ben in this movie.
Yeah.
Dude, so lovable.
Definitive.
Yeah.
Okay, so, all right. So, immediately, like, the movie starts... Score, music, immediately
intro?
fucking amazing.
Yep.
The
I wrote it right there.
For
great
this
intro
movie,
and great origin story.
Oh my god, the music
good.
for this movie is amazing. So no long intro, none of that bullshit, just a quick, the logo that comes in and it all gets webbed out.
Yeah.
None of that Spider-Man original trilogy bullshit. You don't have to wait around.
Yeah.
So, personal thing about this movie for me is this intro, every time I see it, is like weird for me because the kid in it who plays young Peter Parker looks exactly like my oldest brother when he was that age. I'm talking, it's like, it looks exactly like him. So, like, I have in the back of my mind, I have to, like, shut my breath and it's not him. It's like, it's just a weird thing for me. So, he's playing hide and seek with his dad.
Yep.
And his dad's a fucking hide and seek legend. Sets up a broom with a fucking a hat. Like, he goes all out for no reason. Like, the hat didn't need to be there. He's
like, I'm gonna shit on this kid.
Yeah, for real.
He's like, I'm the hide and seek master.
Yeah, I'm gonna teach this kid at a young age what it's like to be fucking shit on. Flash forward, well, But like, yeah, he puts a fucking hat on the broom that you can't even see. Like, that was just extra for no reason. You didn't need all that.
Yeah.
You could have literally just put a pair of shoes. He's like broom, shoes, hat, coat, like everything.
Yeah.
It's like, wow. So, he looks for him in his office, and you notice, oh shit, it's been broken into.
Yeah.
I remember when I watched this. So, like when I saw this movie, I was 2012. I was 10. 10? Yeah, I was 10.
2012.
Yeah.
Good God.
I might have been like 11 or something, like early. I can't remember exactly when this movie came out, but I saw it in theaters. And I remember I was always like scared as shit when I saw this scene. I was like, "What the fuck is happening?" Like, "Whoa, God!" Because it was tense. I
thought he was gonna walk. I thought he was gonna walk on his dad dead.
That's what I was thinking as a kid. I was like, "Oh God, what is happening?"
Yeah.
And then his dad comes in. It's like immediately everything drops and it's super serious. His dad's like, "We got to get the fuck out of here." And you're like, "Oh shit,"
It's funny because even better, he's not like, "Peter, what did you do?" He's like, "Oh shit!" Yeah. Like he knew.
If it was the fucking Maguire movies, he would have been like, "Peter, you stupid fucking piece of shit."
Yeah. And everybody, and then Peter would have been like, "Don't fucking talk to me like that, you old bastard."
Yeah. Everybody in the house would have showed up and be like, "Peter, fuck you, fuck you."
Yeah.
Like just to be like, "Hey guys, he's a nerd and people don't like him."
Yeah. Are you doing one of your science experiments?
Yeah. So they run off and we go to Aunt May and Uncle Ben's house, and they're talking, and the mom is saying goodbye and saying like, oh, he likes the crust off his sandwiches.
Yep.
All this stuff.
It's very
well done.
It is
she
because
does a great performance
instantly they're not coming back.
Yeah,
very. I mean, it's not because you know Spider-Man's backstory. What I'm saying is, it's instantly like.
No, yeah, I mean, you can
because
tell.
their emotion. Yeah, it's really well done. Like she's like, oh shit. So
and the biggest thing, and you can tell this is like from a character perspective, like this had to like stick with him. Is
yes,
he goes, Dad, and he goes, be good. And that's the last thing you ever said to him. Gone. Yeah, that's it. And you just like, I don't know. There's something about the way he says it. Yeah, it's supposed
to say like
the way he says it, and that's the last. You know, that's the last thing you ever heard from his dad.
Yeah,
it's like it's cool,
and it resonates with him. Yeah,
and you get that awesome transition from him in the reflection of the door to in the school.
Can we talk about how well reflected, like how well the reflections are played in this movie?
Oh, great.
Yeah.
So
because there's another scene
immediately so much easier to believe that he's in high school.
Yes.
He's not
immediately
30 and like, I'm sorry, Mr. McGuire, but a little pudgy and like, I don't know. Like he got ripped for that movie, but like,
he looks aged.
You could just tell he was.
Yeah.
He
looks aged. He does.
Yeah,
but and here he doesn't. He looks very young.
And especially in the second one too. Like he's very believably a college age person.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think if we had gotten a third one, he would have been an adult Spider-Man. Like they would have fast forwarded a few years and been like, hey, he's like 22,
let's
23.
Let's
I'm just saying, like,
don't poke me with the second movie. Let's just talk about
if we got a third one, I think we would have gotten probably like adult Spider-Man. You know what I mean? So because he was like the perfect age to just level that up.
I hate Sony. I hate Sony so much.
And it's not over the top, constant like shitting on him. It's just it's just like casual kind of
one
disrespect.
Of my notes. Yes,
you know what I mean?
One of my notes is the bullying is modern bullying. It's exactly what you expect bullying to be. It's they're disrespectful. They're not like, I'm gonna shove you into a locker and fuck your dad. Like no, no, they're like they're believable. They're like they're teasing, but not in like such a menacingly shitty way.
But also, it's like it's not even just bullying. It's like people just think of him as such a non-person. Like the girl that comes up and asks him for photos, she doesn't even realize she's being an asshole because she just is like, oh, she'll just take pictures for me because he's that loser guy who's a good photographer.
Yeah,
and he's just like, oh, fuck you then.
Yeah, like he was all like, oh yeah, and then he's like,
sure, I'll check the old schedule. Like no. So so he goes outside and fucking Flash is shoving the kid in the spaghetti.
Yeah.
I've always wondered why, like, what the context for this is, because Peter comes up and he goes like, no, don't eat it, don't eat it.
Yeah.
What's wrong with it? It must be like, it must be like some diseased food,
but
right?
It's like,
the way he says it, he's like, no, don't eat it, don't eat it. Like,
I think he's telling him that so he doesn't ridicule himself. That's literally, yeah. He's just like, no.
I mean, it's already a bit late for that.
Yeah, facts. Yeah. But here's where two things happen that instantly 100% shit on the old 3 Spider-Man movies for this. Shit's on
immediately already better.
No, already, because we already see the hero in Peter.
Sure.
He has no powers or anything. You already see that he's willing to stand up for the little people is what I'm saying.
Sure.
So you already see that hero side of him. And you also see the Gwen and Peter aspect. Not as much yet, but she sticks up for like Peter. She jumps into it. And then later on in a little bit, but even before he receives his powers, she's already like clearly into Peter Parker.
So he
like fuck Mary Jane, bro.
Yeah, that's okay. So I wanted to talk about that as well. I'm getting more into it. I think the reason that I was fucking despising Mary Jane so much is because let's
no. I on camera.
I'm gonna say you haven't seen these movies since they came out.
Yes,
I've seen these movies a lot,
recently,
so I was going into the old movies being like, I have Gwen Stacy as a comparison.
Give me a second. I want to apologize to you. I want to apologize to the people. I want to apologize. Fuck Mary Jane, bro. Fuck Mary Jane. I apologize to everybody.
Exactly.
Fuck Mary Jane. Gwen Stacy is god tier, bro.
Yeah.
I fucking love her. Everything about this, and I think it's just because Emma Stone did such a good job acting it as well.
Well, she's really well written too.
She's like, very well written. That's exactly one of my notes. Is she is extremely well written from the right out the gate. She's extremely well written. Yes.
So that's what I was going to say is I think when we were arguing about it so much, you haven't seen these movies since the day they came out. I've seen these movies a lot.
Yeah.
So going back and watching the original ones, I have in my mind, how fucking great Gwen Stacy is as a fucking character, as opposed to what they did with Mary Jane. She still gets upset. She does still get upset that he's Spider-Man. But it's not.
But it's not in a way where she's like, oh my god, he's better than me.
She's a real person. Yes, she has real emotions. She's not just like, a fucking freak.
He literally leaves at one point. Sorry, let's not get into it. Sorry. Let's go ahead.
So, he's like, put him down, Flash. Put him down, Eugene. Yeah, and he's like, "You motherfucker!" Yeah, which is great.
But that was him
haven't
getting
heard
heat.
any of that before.
But that was him getting heat on him, so he would move away from.
Yeah,
like,
it's so great to hear him call him Eugene, though.
Yeah,
and I love when he drops the kid that he's holding. The kid in the background just goes. He's like, it's just like this little like screech as he gets dropped. He's like, and so Andrew Garfield. is just too. He's like too good.
He's really
as an
good.
actor. He's one of the best actors.
He's great
of all time. If
He's
anybody's
great.
ever seen, he's Silence, Hacksaw Ridge.
Yep.
Fucking
even his
Under
new movie,
the Silver Lake.
Even his new movie, apparently, the musical,
the musical, of course,
really good.
He's one of the best actors of all time, certainly of this generation.
Yeah,
of people.
I can actually agree with that. He's great, and everything I've seen him in, he does a phenomenal job.
If
he goes all in.
Social Network. Are you fucking kidding me?
Never seen it, but I heard it's really good.
You need to watch Social Network. Yeah, he's fucking amazing in everything that he does. He's one of the best actors of all time, and he's in Spider-Man. So it's like. Immediately, he's bringing so much more depth and emotion to this character than ever had happened before.
Facts.
So he plays the awkwardness so fucking well without being so over the top.
Without being comic-y. As a matter of fact,
it's very subtle.
The first 20 minutes of this movie sets the tone for exactly what we're going to expect. The first 20 minutes, the awkwardness, the slightly I don't want to say dark because it's not a super dark tone, but you get the tone for this movie of what it's supposed to be.
Yeah. So, she's like, "Hey, are you okay? Your concussion? What's your name?" And all this. And, and I love he's doing all these. So I used to let me say. So this movie, right? Let me hold on. I had to say before we get into this because we talked about the original three, and I said, if you're gonna talk about how much you love these movies. Admit there's a lot of nostalgia in there.
Yes, there is.
I have that. I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna beat around the bush. I still.
To be fair, I have nostalgia when it comes to Spider-Man in general. But
that's also true. But I think that I have, in my mind, the ability to
turn it off,
to still, objectively describe the things that I like about these movies. But I did grow up on both of these movies, heavily. Even though I watched the Maguire movies before I watched these.
You have older brothers, so of course you've also seen the other Spider-Man.
I saw the originals, the three, before I watched these two.
Yeah, of course.
So you would think I would be more attached to those, right? But no. So then I grew up. I watched both of these in theaters. They were huge, defining things for me. So very nostalgic for these movies, and I've seen them a lot, a lot. This first movie I have seen countless fucking times because I remember I got it on DVD and I watched it over and over and over again. And this is the movie that got me to in my interest in filmmaking because I watched the behind the scenes on this on the DVD, and I was fucking mind blown by it. I was 10 years old. I was like, oh my god, they got wires, there's green screens. I was like, this is what I want to do with my life.
Yes, yeah.
So this is a hugely formative movie for me.
Yeah.
So I'm very biased.
This is the Drew origin story.
I'm very biased, and I will admit that. And so, anybody out there watching, you can judge for yourself when you watch me talking about this. If you think I have blinders on or whatever, that's fine.
To be fair, I'll step into this because I went very, very blind.
And you're not biased towards it.
I'm not biased. I'm not even biased towards Spider-Man in any way, and I thought I was going to be.
So when I will try my best to explain why I think this stuff's so good instead of just saying oh, it's great.
Yeah.
I'll try to go into detail on it so that hopefully I can explain well enough why I like it, and not just it's cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, so with that out of the way, so he does. So I remember I watched a few times this movie with the director's commentary back in the day, and they talk about how Andrew does this very subtle, specific thing when. Gwen first talks to him, he's doing these little subtle awkward things. He's rolling his head and he's he's hiding his eyes and all this stuff. He's awkward, but he's not. Well, actually, square root of
he's shy. It's the shyness. Yes, it's done very well, and it's true. You can see it. You can see he's scared of doing the eye contact.
Yeah.
Scared of
Exactly.
Yeah, you can see it's subtle. But it's
so well prepared.
Yes.
And he went so in depth into it.
Yes.
All right, so they have that cute little conversation. And then he goes home.
Yes.
And Aunt May's like, I'm making spaghetti and meatballs. He's like, you fucking kidding me? Spaghetti and meatballs of all things.
Yeah.
And so Ben comes in. I immediately love this introduction. It's so fucking adorable. He comes in. He's like, "These are my bowling trophies." It's just like, get your filthy fucking shit off my table.
She's like, "Why is this here?"
Get that shit off my table. It's disgusting. And you immediately get a sense for their relationship, and it's not. It's already.
Yes, established. It's established.
It feels so I don't know. The other ones are such they're just so basic.
Cookie cutter.
Yeah, it's just
they're very scripted.
And they also feel more like grandparents. They feel so much like grandparents to me.
Yeah, that's true.
I can't get that out of my mind.
Yeah.
They just
these are modern.
They remind me of my grandparents. The original
but it's funny,
ones.
right?
This feels like an aunt and an uncle.
But how fucking funny is it though, right? Because like you said, the movies aren't even that far apart. Like but they're.
You mean when they released or?
Yeah, no, I'm saying like even from Spider-Man 1 to Amazing Spider-Man 1, like it's so funny because they what's the word I'm looking for? They not feed, but they play to a generation. Each one of those plays to a generation. But it's so funny because there's almost no gap between Spider-Man 1 and Amazing Spider-Man 1. There's like maybe what? Like, I don't know. Look real quick while I'm talking. Like, look up Spider-Man 1.
It was 2002.
That's what I'm saying, right? And these are when?
It was a decade. It was 2012.
That's what I'm saying, right? But it's still mind-blowing how much they try to cater to like each generation. Like, because these are more, like you said, modern aunt and uncles. When you think aunt and uncle, it's so funny because like, even for me, like a lot of my aunts and uncles are like younger. That's not how it usually goes, but that's what you think.
That is how it usually is. That's what everyone thinks when you think aunt and uncle. You don't think younger, 90. You think like 50 to 60.
Yeah, and these are like
that's an aunt and uncle, like about the same age as your parents would be.
Yeah,
like that type of thing. Like not fucking separated by 20 years. Like it's crazy.
Yeah,
and even then, that's not like you're right about like different stuff catering to different generations.
Yeah.
But even then, like that's like this is.
What I mean, but
this is more timeless. Like everyone can relate to this,
as
opposed to like not many people have grandparent aunt and uncles.
Yeah.
Like that's not a very relatable thing.
No, you're right. That's true.
I don't know. I think the reason I like these movies a lot more is because they do. I always prefer relatability in movies.
Yeah.
Like if you can have a connection to something in a movie,
it makes it easier. Yeah, and I think that's why I like these movies so much.
It improves your connection to the movie as a whole in general.
Okay,
I was so disconnected from all the characters in the Raimi movies.
Yes. So, and it's funny you say that because there's a lot of times where I would I wasn't like exactly like it felt normal. Like
exactly.
Andrew Garfield felt normal.
Just like you're like watching through a fucking peephole or something.
It all felt very genuine and very grounded as opposed to comic-y, and I don't know what tone I want this movie to be. Like, yeah.
So he follows him down.
People
his
are
basement.
gonna hate us, dude.
I don't know.
Them Spider-Man Toby fans are really gonna fucking fuck them.
It's crazy.
Fuck you guys. There
has been a resurgence really of people being like, hey, by the way, the Amazing Spider-Man movies are great,
dude.
Like just so because no one gave them the chance when they came out.
Yeah, it's true.
It happens a lot with stuff like this, like especially when it's a franchise that's like pre-established. Like it happened with the sequel Star Wars movies.
Dude, I can't believe how biased I thought I was gonna be.
Yeah, they get so left in the dust because it's like a reboot or a part of a franchise. Like people just saying no.
Yeah, it's because
it's not. But the problem is
it's not that. The problem is it's the prior generation trying to come in and shit on the new generation. Yeah. It's like with Star Wars. I don't know if we're ever going to talk about Spider-Man. The Star Wars movies.
We will, yeah. 100%.
But the last two that came out, in my opinion, they were amazing for a new generation.
Yeah, except for Rise of Skywalker. They were
good for a new generation to bring them in, and then that's how you get another generation to be like, oh my god, I got to go watch all the other Star Wars movies.
Exactly.
Except Phantom Menace, don't watch that unless you like pod racing.
No. Attack of the Clones, not Phantom Menace. Phantom Menace is okay. Attack of the Clones is
that one? Is that the one where it's like? That's the one that you can skip and you will miss nothing.
Yeah.
No. Except for the Jedi stuff, you can skip a lot of shit.
This sets up like a lot of shit. Like,
I mean, it does.
The Clone Army, you just skip.
Anyways, back to Spider-Man.
Yeah, okay.
We'll talk about this.
So Peter, you get like subtle, things throughout this movie about how smart he is. They don't touch on it so much.
You ready?
But it's just kind of here and there.
What I wrote was they show you how smart he is without like thinking you're a dumb audience and need to realize how smart he is. Like he's gadgety. Like he's
so he immediately knows how to
lock
fix
on the door. Like
he immediately knows how to fix this shit that Uncle Ben's telling about. He's like, so do you think we can fix it? He's like, can't be this. It's got to be that. I can get some parts from the hardware store and fix it tomorrow. It's like, okay.
He is believably smart. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like, have you ever been like the fix it guy in your house?
Yes.
Where it's like, oh my god, the
reminds
modem broke.
me of one of my brothers.
Okay,
a lot. Like my brother was that guy. Like he knows all this stuff. He just the internet. You just fucking
you Google stuff.
Yeah, and you learn it. So he finds the briefcase down there.
Yes.
And he goes back up. I mean, there's also the nice moment where Uncle Ben is like, I know a red cross when I see one. Do I have to call somebody's father?
I love that. Yeah, that's a good moment.
Very nice.
He plays. Well, don't just skip that because upstairs when he says, "Oh, I fell off my skateboard," he's like, that must have sucked. But then when it's just him and Peter, he's like, don't fucking lie to me. You can lie to your aunt, but don't fucking lie to me.
Yeah, you can lie to your fucking shitty aunt, but not me.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not dumb. But it's a very nice moment between the two.
Yeah, so he gets the briefcase and he takes it upstairs, and they're in the middle of a conversation and they're like, oh shit, like he found the case.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So what else happens? They react. He pulls out the photo and he's like, who's this? And it's Connor's.
Yeah.
And they pretend like they don't know what's going on. And then as soon as he walks away, the way they look at each other, like Aunt May grabs her mouth, she's like, oh God. You know what I mean? Like, you can tell some serious shit, and you find out more in the second one why they were so kind of reacted like that. But so he goes upstairs and he kind of dumps all his shit out, and he takes out the glasses, and easy way to show it, he's wearing contacts.
Yes.
That's fucking... Of course you'd wear contacts. Everyone wears contacts if you have glasses. So he takes them out, puts on his dad's glasses. Oh, now he wears glasses.
Yeah.
But like any other normal person, he would wear contacts. And people complain oh, he doesn't wear glasses. He's not Peter Parker.
Yeah, no.
Fucking, who wears glasses constantly all the time throughout the day?
Fuck you. But yeah, I mean, I used to wear contacts. It's just
that's what I'm saying. Everybody at least tries that. You know
I would definitely prefer contacts, but
yeah, it's like everyone at least goes through a point where they try contacts. Why would you not?
Yeah.
If you could see better and not have to wear glasses on your face all day, why would you not want to?
Or if you're a real fucking, if you're a real baller, bro, wear your contacts and then your glasses over your contacts. You'll have double vision.
Jesus Christ. So anyway, so yeah, all these little things to show how smart he is. Like, you just show the door lock.
Yeah,
that's it. Now he just
and they're not fucking forcing it down your goddamn throat.
Yeah, he clearly built that and threw it on there. Like, it's very rigged. And
and even better is they show you him locking the door, and it's a thing that he does all the time. Clearly, because it's not like the other one where it's like Aunt May's like, "Why do you have the door locked?" He constantly locks his door, which is great.
So Ben is just so nice in the scene.
He is.
So it's adorable, and he goes in and he's like, listen, I
think I literally wrote, Ben is adorable. yeah, Uncle Ben is lovable and adorable.
He's like, I stopped being able to help you with your math after the 7th grade, and I'm not smart and all this, but blah 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 blah. And he's like, listen, so the guy in the photo, that was Kurt Connor. He's like, I'm gonna be honest with you, basically.
Yeah.
And he kind of goes over that a little bit about Connors and how they haven't seen him in forever, and it just kind of, ever since his dad left, it kind of went downhill. And then as he's leaving, he's like, she's pretty, on the computer. Yeah.
Oh my God, which sets up for an amazing scene later, but yeah.
Yeah, and so then also fucking amazing on the way out, he goes, hey, Uncle Ben, you're a pretty great dad, all right? And then they just look at each other, and he closes the door. I'm like, that's so nice.
It's a really good moment.
Yeah. You never get anything like that in the other movies.
Not at all, dude.
I know it's a different version, but it's just so nice to see that they care about each other.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
And you're right. That's why I said that I was wrong about that Uncle Ben being lovable, because you see he loves Peter, but Peter doesn't show the same love.
Here's the other thing, right? In this one, as opposed to the other ones, in the other ones, he seems to be pissed that he thinks Uncle Ben is trying to be his dad.
Yeah.
In this one,
dude, he
thinks of Uncle Ben as his dad.
Yes.
And he loves him in that way. He's instead, his anger when he lashes out at him is towards his dad for not being there.
Yes.
So Uncle Ben does bring up his dad, just like in the Raimi movies, but he's not mad at Uncle Ben for that. He's mad at his dad. All that pent up anger comes out towards his dad, not towards Uncle Ben, because he has no reason to be mad.
Yeah, he literally Ben. We'll talk more about the anger scene later, because there's one thing that I thought would have made the scene so much better, but.
So he's using Bing. That's the biggest flaw of this movie. The one and only massive, unacceptable, drops the score by 6 points. He's using Bing. Using Bing. Yeah. So he's using Bing. And then I've always loved this transition where he looks up Oscorp and then it goes through.
Yes.
Cool. Nice editing. So here's an interesting thing. I don't know if you know about this. This is in 2012, which is the same year the Avengers came out. Mm-hmm. Originally, for almost up until the release of the Avengers, I believe, Oscorp Tower was going to appear in the Avengers. It was going to be there, and something happened with rights Sony. And shit at the last second, and they cut it out. Yeah. But they were going to set up for him being there. First off, love Oscorp Tower. It looks fucking cool.
It looks very
massive.
Cool.
It's
it looks
so
believably
cool. But the fact that it was going to be there, I was like, that's really interesting. They were clearly going to start kind of heading in that direction of introducing him into the MCU.
Yep. But I guarantee you it's a Sony thing.
Which is intriguing to think about that early on.
I'm telling you it's a Sony thing.
Yeah, for sure, because they always had so many issues with the rights and how much they wanted to hold on to it. But, excuse me. So, yeah, I just thought that was interesting. And, yeah, he goes there and, he takes this name tag. And she's like, "Are you having trouble finding yourself?" He's like, "No, I got it.
Yeah,
right here." He's like, "Okay, Rodrigo."
Yeah. And like, it's funny because I put a note here for later for when he's upstairs.
Yeah.
And it came out, I was like, "Rip Rodrigo." Rip Rodrigo.
And Gwen's there.
Yeah.
And Rodrigo's like, "Tell him we're going to Harris is here." So I love it's a great way when Connor shows up here. It's a great way to kind of do a little exposition dump about who he is, but have it make sense in the world, because he's explaining himself to this tour guide or group, and so he's like, "So how can we do this and that?" And somebody's like, "Stem cells," and Peter's like, "Cross species genetics." Yeah, and he's like hiding behind the people.
Yeah.
And
then Gwen's like instantly recognizes.
She looks at me. She's like, "Well, are you on the list?"
Yeah.
So, he explains, cross-species genetics, combining DNA I think he says a zebrafish can, heal its cells.
Yeah.
And he turns to Gwen, he's like, who is this? And she's like, oh, he's, second in his class at Midtown High. And he's like, second?
Second? Really? Sure about that? She's like, oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Oh,
he's like,
fucking
okay.
love that.
Yeah. I don't know why... Oh, yeah. So she finds him right after this. She pulls him out of the group. And she's like, what's up, Rodrigo?
Yeah.
And I love the way he plays it. He looks down and he goes, oh yeah. he's like, oh, yeah, I forgot I did that. Yeah, and they're just, of course, adorable again. They're so fucking good together. They were dating through both of these movies. So the chemistry
is very nice, yeah.
Palpable. It's, unbelievable. So... he bumps into the guy, and the papers fall on the floor. He sees the 00.
Oh yeah.
And then he grabs the papers back and he walks away. He gives him a look like, "Who the fuck is this kid?
Yeah,
what the fuck are you doing?"
He's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. So he follows him and he sees him go into the on the outside it says biocable development unit, and he sees him put in the code. And he goes in after he comes out, and he starts seeing He starts kind of, this is where the genesis for the idea of the web shooters comes. He sees the cable being used and all this shit, all that. And the music here is also so good. Like when he flicks the thing and the spider starts ding, 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 ding. It's so cool.
Also, how good of a fucking job he did keeping calm, because they start falling on him. But he clearly wants to yell. He wants to freak out, but he knows if I'm caught in here, I'm fucked.
He's just trying to shut them all off. So, we get a quick cutaway to, I can't remember his name. It starts with a K, I think. The guy.
I know who you're talking about, but
the guy. And he's like, Norman Osborn is dying. He's talking to Connor. It's like, we have to figure this shit out. And anyway, so it's just a quick scene. He's like, Norman Osborn is dying. Help him. Blah, blah, blah. So you get that kind of set up.
Yeah.
And then we go back to them, and she sees him walking out of the room.
Oh yeah.
And she walks up and she's like, "Give me the badge."
Yeah.
Just give me the badge. And he's like, and she's like, "Give me the badge." And so he gives it to her, and as he's giving it to her and saying "I'm sorry," you see the spider go up his neck, and
bites him.
It's not red and blue.
It's faint. It's a faint red and blue.
It's gray.
It's because there's some reddish. It's like a very pinkish hue and a very
where the red and blue comes in is the room. There's the red lights and then the whole thing is blue.
No, I get what you're saying, but the spider
is not red and blue.
Maybe 100%. I don't know. I didn't pay attention to it when it was on his neck.
I froze frame it both
maybe.
times.
I was gonna say it definitely looked red and blue in the room, but like you said, it's probably the lighting.
It's the lighting, yeah. So, which I'm glad because I don't know. I don't.
I swear. I think you're wrong because he looks at it later.
They're experimenting with regular spiders.
I get that.
Why would they be red and blue?
Because of the DNA transfer or whatever the fuck it's supposed to
be. When he pulls it off his neck later, it's still just a regular.
Maybe I don't know. I can't remember, but.
So, he gets bit, and then we go to the subway sequence. Oh, I have always fucking loved this sequence. It's such a good.
It's good, but this is where my first complaint takes place. But it's good. No. I mean, the editing's okay.
The editing's bad here. There's a lot of bad editing choices here. There's when he first wakes up and jumps, it cuts 20 times. They must have had to edit around something. Like they must have had to.
I don't think they edited around something. I think
it was just.
I think what they were going for is I think they were trying to make it seem frenetic, like very like oh shit, there's a lot going on here because you're supposed to see it from Peter's.
It's just that
mind.
It's mostly just that one jump. Like they just cut like 100 fucking times.
Yeah, but I think it's supposed to be on purpose. I think they were trying to go for something here, it just didn't work.
Yeah.
But my complaint is, and now that I'm thinking about it, maybe it's not so bad because these are just a bunch of crazy subway people. Yeah. So nobody would be believing when they say, "Oh my god, I actually know Spider-Man." Yeah. That's my problem when they do like the power reveal. It's like, why are you guys making it so showy, like so showboaty? Like, I know that he's supposed to be like surprised when he's doing it, but it's like there's no way some of these people wouldn't remember. Oh my god, there's a guy in the subway that ripped a pole off the fucking subway and hit us with it.
Yeah, that's the thing is, that we talked about it in the biggest problem in the other ones was like the webbing.
Yes,
the webbing is a huge thing, and the fact that everyone there knows his name.
Yeah,
these are just random people.
That's why I say it makes more sense.
They probably don't even remember what he looks like. Yeah. Even if they did. It's New York. There's so many fucking people that live in New York. There's no way they would ever be able to identify him. And why would they even want to?
Yeah.
Unless they somehow happen to be evil.
I mean, no, you're right though. It's true.
So
that's why I said now that I'm thinking about it, it makes more sense.
It's like okay, but it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
So so then it's just great. It's just the way that he's like, his spider sense is triggering, and he just is like, I'm sorry. Like I don't know what the fuck is going on.
So right off the bat, his spider sense is amazing, and it's only for one reason. It's not even how they show it. Is anytime there's a spider sense, audio cue instantly. It's that ear piercing every single time, and it's amazing.
And it's also like pretty like consistent. Like he doesn't he gets alert for like the smallest little things.
Yes,
and he's doing it all on accident because he's just like
and them doing this for us sets up for the rest of the movie. Where they don't have to be like, okay, we're going to slow it down for you. Like, here, so you can see. Sense, It's like they give you the audio cue and you knew, oh, spider sense.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's amazing. It's so good.
So he goes back home.
Yep.
And he walks in, he's fucking sweating buckets.
Oh my God, this scene is so fucking good.
I'm sorry, so late. And they're like,
Drugs?
Yeah. Alcohol? And he like catches the fly in front of her and she's like, Peter, that's a fucking fly.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. And then he goes straight to the meatloaf.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. Meatloaf.
Yeah, he's like going ham on this.
Yeah.
And then Uncle Ben's like, nobody ever likes your meatloaf.
She's like, oh my God, what's wrong with them? This is crazy. And he's like, yeah, no one likes your meatloaf. Yeah.
And she's like, it's so funny because when he goes upstairs, she's like, what do you mean nobody likes my meatloaf? She's like, I've been making it for 20 years. Yeah, like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, it's so good. It's so good.
You could have told me. So, and then there's also something I love here that's just like, just so great that it happened. Again, like when I used to I've watched the commentary before, they talk about when he's carrying the stuff away and that one can falls and he catches it in his arm. Wasn't supposed to happen.
Oh, really?
It was not supposed to happen.
But it fits.
But he just happened to catch it, and when she goes to like go, oh, that was real. She actually was like trying to stop him so it didn't break. And then they just kept going in the scene. He's like, I got it. And then they just keep going. It was great. It's just like,
that's so good to know that.
Sometimes you get shit like that. It's just
it's good. It's golden because it makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense. It fits.
Fucking improves the scene that you never could have expected. It's great. So, dude, and then he goes up and fucking he finds the thing.
That's gross.
Every time when he does that, it gives me like a shiver.
No, when I saw it, I was like, yeah.
I can just feel the disconnect every time. Just thinking about it, I have like chills to the back of my neck.
You ready for my favorite part?
No.
No super muscles. No perfect vision. No nothing. Mm-hmm. He was just still Peter Parker. Mm-hmm. He didn't be like, oh my God, look at me. Like, no, he was just himself, bro. Which is what happens. Spider-Man doesn't get like super muscle mass. He doesn't. Mm-hmm. Like, anyways, it's funny how much I never thought about it. How much it actually bugs me that he did that, and nobody was like, "Oh my God, Peter Parker's swole as fuck."
Exactly.
No.
And he hasn't questioned it either.
No,
So anyway, this fucking the wake up sequence here is so good too. When he gets up,
yep,
and it's like completely silent. The alarm goes off, and he goes
boom,
and
yes,
blows it up.
Oh.
Yeah, and then he's fucking squirting the toothpaste too hard, ripping off the knobs and shit. It's perfect to show that he has to learn to control it.
Yes, this movie does an amazing job at two things that the other Spider-Man actually didn't show us. And it's funny that I didn't even think about how much it doesn't show us. Is it does show us, but not in the sense of this one does. Like, he has super fucking strength.
They don't focus on his strength at all.
Ever.
Ever. He's just him learning how to climb and swing.
Yeah, and here it's like
when
no,
you
it's
wake
like
up one day and you don't know that you have the fucking ability to like crush a car with your bare
Yeah.
hands. Shit like that's gonna happen.
Yes.
You have to realize and then start to focus and control it. It's not
yeah,
just gonna
and
be an
no,
immediate
it's
thing.
they do such a good job with it.
It's great. It's so good.
And they even showcase how good of his strength is later when I believe, right? He catches a car, doesn't he?
In this one, he's like holding it between the bridge. And the web. Yeah.
No.
That's in the second one.
In the second one, yeah, you're right.
But
Yes, it is.
I mean,
It's still good. It still
same
showcases
difference.
strength.
He's
Yeah,
holding a car.
He literally catches
And
it.
in fact, in this one, it actually is more impressive because he's holding it with one hand.
Yeah, that scene.
So,
I can't wait to get into
it's
that
amazing.
scene. Yes,
Spider-Man.
it's amazing. Spider-Man. Yeah, I was gonna say, damn it.
I already call things amazing all the time, so just assume when I say it, I don't intend the pun, but also I intend the pun.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's there.
So we get another thing showing exactly the spider sense here. It's not, Raimi's. It was cool the way they show it. Like, it slows down, and they do that in the second one too. But in this, they show its heightened senses.
Yes,
he's sitting there and he's like, oh, hey, he's like, just a spider moving is scaring the shit out of him.
Yeah,
and then the blinds flutter a little bit. He's like, holy shit,
Yeah.
Everything
he has to
about
learn.
him is heightened.
Yes, he has to learn how to be like, oh shit, like
Just tune that out.
It's like a sixth sense in like the scariest way when you don't know.
It's not even like, it's a sixth sense, but it's more like every sense that he has is
it's
heightened
heightened
to such a degree that it's like fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, it's really good.
Like
I actually really like
a spider gently crawling. Yeah. He's like, I can see that. So that's a great way to show it.
It's amazing.
He has some weird looks on his face when he
does,
it,
but
it's
like, so good.
But it's still really good. So, and again, in terms of keeping it like grounded and realistic, and especially him being like a teenager in modern day, first thing you do, go to Bing in this case. I was gonna say Google, but he goes to Bing, looks it up. Spider bites, different kind of spider bites. What the fuck is going on?
I wish they wouldn't have showed us some of these spider bites, but some of these are kind of gross.
It's great because like you said in the other one. Why doesn't he ever question what happened to him? And this one, he immediately starts looking at him like, what the fuck is going on?
Yep. Nothing comes up.
But he doesn't want to tell, like, what is he going to go tell him? Hey, by
because he didn't die, obviously, he didn't affect him like a spider bite should.
Yeah, he's going to be like, hey, I got bit by a spider, and now...
Like 2 days ago. It was like a day ago.
A real teenager is going to keep it to themselves. And,
especially as close as he is.
Yeah. So, he goes to Connor's house, and he's like, hey, I'm... Richard Parker's son. And he's like, oh, well, now you can come in.
Yeah.
And then he goes in and he like catches the coffee cup. And he's like, good reflexes. He's like, I'm just doing my thing. And I've always loved for some reason, he writes down the algorithm for him. And and this is a great scene, by the way. Like the way they set up Connors and how he's like, he talks about how much he regrets like ditching him and all this stuff. It's great.
Make Connors so good. They make Connors
really
so good. Yes.
So, but then he writes down the algorithm and kind of like, how did you come up with this? And I always love he just goes, just brain.
Yeah.
He has no answer for it.
Yeah, he literally is just like,
just up here. It's all up here.
Yeah.
And so here's the biggest thing, I guess, is the football. He's in the football stadium. And he's talking to Gwen, and she's like,
you mean the basketball? Is it basketball?
Wait. No, basketball.
Yeah,
I'm
basketball.
Sorry, I'm skipping way ahead. I wrote down ball, and I thought in my mind I went to the football thing, but no, we're well before that. So, yeah, so he does. So the thing about this movie is almost everything. Like if you can think that could be done practically, it's done practically.
Yeah,
it's everything.
Yeah, they try to go as practical as possible, so it lives up.
Yeah, so
and
like
it does.
The ball, like he goes over to help her pick up the paint. The ball comes at him. He was like attached to a wire, and they drop him down like this, and he catches it and goes back.
Nice,
amazing.
It's great.
And then he goes out, and I always love this scene. Like it's great that he, in the other ones he kind of like accidentally gets into a fight with Flash and accidentally knocks him out, sort of.
No, here he's like, I'm out for.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna get some fucking revenge on this guy.
And it's also, much more believable.
It also ties in great to, that's how he is now, and so then when Ben dies, first thought, vengeance. I'm gonna get revenge. Track down this fucking guy.
Yep.
Kill him. Like that's how his brain is operating.
Oh, I can't wait to get into the Ben scene.
Like,
I can't wait
up to that point. So it's a great little way to set that up. And so it's a little unbelievable, the jump and like the backboard shattering, but it's a lot more explainable that people could like rationalize it in their heads than a guy walking away dragging a tray with webs. You know what I mean? Like, oh, that's obviously Spider-Man. This guy's like, oh, maybe the backboard was kind of cracked already, blah blah blah. Like, there's people could rationalize that like normal people. They would be like, oh, he's a superhero.
Yeah, the webs is terrible.
Seeing him drag away the webs is like definitively like no, everyone knows who he is.
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
they have to know.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is a little over the top, but it could be worse. It could be that. So Ben tells him off, and he's like, I don't care about the fucking backboard.
Yeah.
Did you humiliate that kid?
Yeah. This goes to show you how truly good
Uncle Ben is.
He's like, I don't care about the damage.
We're not doing this whole like revenge.
No, he's like,
thing.
he's like, what is your problem?
We shouldn't do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it resonates with Peter because he's like, I get it. Like, obviously he's annoyed, but he kind of like
accepts it.
He accepts it. He did the wrong thing.
He knows he did.
Oh my God, it's so good because they get into this whole little fight. But that conversation ends so fucking
nicely.
It ends so warm, like heartwarming. Yes, it ends so heartwarming. He's not like "fuck you, Uncle Ben." He's like, "Hey, okay,
he did the wrong thing.
And then we have. Go ahead and say it. I love this moment.
So Ben, goes. So now I had to fucking call out of work. So May had to pick up another shift, and you're gonna have to.
He's scolding him. He's scolding him.
You have to pick her up now, and and then he goes. He's like, I think we're on your computer. He's got you on his computer.
Yeah.
And he's like, don't forget Aunt May, and then he leaves.
Yeah, it's so good. It's believable.
No, he also says, what did he say? I'm his parole officer.
Yeah, he says I'm his parole officer. Yeah.
Probation officer. Probation officer.
It's so good.
So, yeah, and she comes up. And he's like, that's he's crazy. I don't know what he's talking about. He's like, oh, so you don't have me on your computer? And he's like, well, I mean, I took a photo of the debate team. You're on the debate team, and I was just like touching up stuff. She's like, touching up stuff. And he's like, I'm not even. What are you talking about? I'm not even gonna answer that. It's like everything they do here, like this back and forth, is the cutest shit I've ever seen in my life.
It's so good.
It's fucking amazing.
She's so into him. Like,
they're both into each other, like to a ridiculous degree.
Yes.
And then he's like, maybe we could, or we could do something else, or maybe we could do. And then she's like, yeah. I'd love to.
Yeah,
she's just leave.
There's literally no plans.
Right now, though. I can't
there's
right now.
There's literally almost no plans made. Like
they just
like want to hang out. Yes, yeah. But it's so funny because I like that part where he's like, "You not right now." Like
I'm so busy right now. I'm so busy. Right now. It's like, oh yeah, me too. I can't. I couldn't possibly.
But clearly they both wanted to be like, "Let's go right now."
He's so awkward. He's so fucking awkward about it. But she's like, she's cool with it. So then we get the power learning montage.
Yep.
So a lot of complaints come from people saying like, oh, he's a cool skater kid and he's learning his powers through cool skating tricks. It's like,
but
is skateboarding really that cool?
But it's not.
Is it?
It's not. I remember. It's funny because I remember
people do.
No, it's not even that. It's not even that. If you were a skater when I was growing up, like you were an awkward teenager.
Yeah,
that's
how it is now.
Yes, you're an awkward emo kid.
Emo, yeah.
Yes,
exactly
you're an emo kid. Yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah.
There's nothing popular about people who skate.
No,
not anymore, anyway.
No, this isn't fucking Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1992.
Exactly.
No, this is no.
He's not on a time trial trying to spell out the word skate.
Skate. Yeah, it's true. This is like
Yeah.
This is his go-to of I want to be one myself.
It's a great way for him to start figuring out the powers is like to use them in a natural way. He starts doing it, and then he's like, "Oh shit, I can flip a little bit higher. Oh, maybe I should start. Oh," and then he's just like figuring it out very naturally. And it's also because he's like going skating because he's so hyped because he just talked to Gwen, so everything is like heightened and he's fucking.
Well, he's also still mad.
Happy.
He's still mad though. Like he's like, it's a good way for him to blow off the excitement but anger steam. Like he's still mad. Like you can. It's just him blowing off steam. That's all it is.
Just, figuring everything out.
Good or bad, it's just him literally
and all practical. Every single thing they do here, completely practical. Swinging.
And wait, real quick.
Climbing, everything.
Real quick. Skater people that watch this video, like, tell me you don't go out and skate on your own to blow off fucking steam or even just vibe by yourself.
Like people who skate, watch this video, tell us you're not fucking weird losers, right? Like, we're right.
No, like, for real, tell us you're not just vibing on your own. Like, you're just relaxing. That's
exactly. Listen to Coldplay.
Nickelback, ew.
Yeah, at least that's what I'm saying. People always complain that it's a Coldplay song that goes over this. Well, the fucking Nickelback in the original ones, dude.
Why does everybody? Who cares? I hate that everybody's like, "Oh my god, that song is so good." No, fuck off.
I can't.
I hate that song. I really do. It was catchy when I first heard it. I was like, "Oh, I actually like this song," right? But the fact that everybody associates it with Spider-Man, like, why?
Yeah, I don't associate
fuck off
with Spider-Man. Like, what the fuck? I associate Spider-Man music with Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
he goes, so Connors had said, like, hey, you should come see me at the tower one day after school. So he goes to do that.
Yep.
And they're testing the algorithm and, like, running
simulations.
And
he gets very into it.
Very into it. Ben calls him and
he ignores it.
And it's not even like a situation where like he needed to ignore it. Connor's like, do you need to take that? Like you can take that.
And he just ignores it.
He's like, nah.
Yeah.
So.
I genuinely think he forgot he needed to go pick up his aunt.
No, he 100% did.
Yeah.
He was so caught up in like he's meeting his idol.
He's
basically,
He's orgasming right now.
Yeah,
right? I'm not even joking. He's like, yes.
I've ever done in my life.
He's like, I'm getting to play with these gadgets. Yeah, he's super high tech.
He's basically like curing cancer as far as
it's true.
So
he's in an environment. He's basically in his environment.
He doesn't remember that he needs to pick up Aunt May. So he's just thinking like, oh, I'll call Ben back later.
Yeah. He's in his he's in his environment.
So, so then he goes home, dude. This fucking scene is so goddamn good. The acting here, the performances are unbelievable.
I really like it.
Andrew and
there's
Martin
only
Sheen
one.
especially.
There's only one thing that I feel like would have made.
I know what you're gonna say, but go ahead.
No. There's only one thing that would have made it better for me, and we'll get to it in a second because I want to get into the argument first, and then we'll say right when he leaves. That's when I feel the scene could have been better.
Ben is
livid,
very rightfully mad.
Yes.
So in the right.
In the right. Yes.
He's like, your aunt, my wife, had to walk fucking like 20 blocks on her own in the middle of the night because you didn't come and save her.
Like you were supposed to.
Save her.
walk her home.
And he's like, I'm sorry, I got distracted. He's like, oh, he got distracted.
Yeah. He's like, good.
Yeah, it's very.
But while this is going on, right. Aunt May is like, oh,
no,
come
please,
on,
you don't have to fucking apologize.
Yeah, like,
it's okay.
I'm
perfectly capable of walking home myself.
Yeah.
Like, no, it's not. He should have been there.
Yeah. Apologize to your aunt. Like,
he's like, I'm
it's
sorry.
so good.
He's like, you don't have to apologize to me. He's like, the hell he does.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
And so the thing about this scene is, Peter, more the anger that comes out of him is directed towards the pent up anger towards his dad.
Yes.
But also it's because
Ben says, what is the line he says? He's like, you're so much like your father. He's like, I can't remember what he says, but something along the lines of like, oh, you get so involved in what you're doing that you're kind of just pushing everything to the side.
Yeah.
So clearly his dad used to do shit like that too.
Yeah.
And he's like, your dad's this amazing, like whatever. And Peter's like, oh, if he's so amazing, why is he not here? Like, yeah. And like,
he's so amazing. Why is he Spider-Man?
Why did he leave?
Spider-Man?
And then, but you can tell it takes Ben by surprise. He's like, what? Like I'm saying.
So
no. What I'm saying is, shut up with the Spider-Man thing. What I'm saying is, no. What I'm saying is,
I'm not gonna drag out that bit.
No. But what I'm saying is, it's so good because he's like, oh, if he's so great, then why he leave? Yeah. And it takes Ben by surprise. Ben's like, what? Like the argument literally, boom. It's like a 180 shift.
So he gets back from what he thinks he basically in his mind he thinks he just cured all disease. Right. So he's like, holy shit, I need to get home and I can tell my aunt and uncle, like, I just fucking did something amazing.
Yes.
And so he walks in and immediately
he's excited.
He's getting barraged.
Yeah.
And he immediately just feels shit on and, like, he doesn't have a right to be mad. Like, he's in the wrong.
Yeah, he's 100%
But,
wrong.
partially he gets angry because, he's a teenager. He feels like you're attacking me and I just did all this cool shit and, like, just let me fucking... like
it's not even just that.
It's
not even just that. We glossed over
the dad thing.
Yes, we glossed over that because you can clearly tell it's getting to him.
Yeah.
Like there's a few scenes where he stares at the bag and he's like, oh fuck you. Like you can tell he's thinking of his dad. He looks through the bag at one point. Like obviously with the Connor scene, but I'm saying we didn't talk about the impact that has because he's so curious about his family.
Yeah.
Clearly it's like it's in the back of his fucking mind beating him. Like he wants to know about his parents.
And so I bring all that up to say is like this is why I preferred this to the Raimi trilogy one because there's just
emotional.
No reason
There's
for him
impact.
to be mad.
No, there's good impact.
They're on perfectly good terms, and he gets in the car with him, and then he just starts yelling at him.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, why? In this one, everything makes perfect sense. All the pieces are aligned for them to get pissed at each other.
And so they get mad.
So then, Ben does. So how do you feel about Ben? Says your dad. You're just like your dad used to say, blah blah blah. And he used to say, you had more. If you could do good things, you had a moral obligation to do those things.
Yes.
That's what's at stake here, not power, responsibility, or whatever he says.
Yeah.
People complain about it so much.
No.
Who gives a fucking shit?
Yeah, who cares?
And you're complaining.
Because it's the same point.
By the way, everyone is complaining, oh, we don't want to see the origin story again. We don't want to see the origin story again. When they change it, now you're going to complain that they changed it?
Yeah.
What do you want? Make up your
fucking
mind.
No. I like this argument. I like everything. The only complaint that I have that would have made... To me, I don't know why it would have made a lot more impact is Peter was pissed, right?
Yeah.
He clearly wasn't pissed at Aunt May and Uncle Ben. He wasn't. He was mad because where the fuck is my family, right?
Yeah.
So when he leaves and he walks out the door and he slams that door and it breaks, I feel like it would have had just a little bit more impact had he turned around and been like, I'm sorry, and like was at the verge of tears and then left. I feel like that would have had a little bit more impact because then it would have been like he clearly wasn't mad at them. He just felt like he was overwhelmed by everything, including the fact that his fucking father, who he keeps hearing about, not just from Uncle Ben, but from Connors, and like
but he is mad at Ben though.
He is mad at Ben, but not to the point.
He's mad at Ben for bringing his dad into the conversation.
Yes, but he's not.
This whole thing.
Yes, but I feel like had he said sorry when he broke the door, I feel like that would have been like he clearly feels bad.
I think it's a pride thing though. You know,
it might be. It might be, but
I feel like you know he is a little older or whatever, but it's like a very well done portrayal of a teenager. Like if you're so like at that point you're just like fuck it, I'm committing to this. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to walk away and be angry. Like I've been there, like a few times. But, I'm sure you were when you were
of course I was. But it's like, but when you
commit to it and be like, fuck you.
But when you pass a limit of that anger, you're kind of just like instantly like, oh, I fucked up. And like him breaking that door, he should have been like, oh shit, like oops. Like he should have been like a moment where he like stunned him and kind of like brought him back to like, oh shit, I'm angry.
Yeah.
But I'm still angry and I'm gonna leave. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I feel like just him being like sorry and like leaving, it would have just. I feel like it would have just drove that point of like, I'm fucking mad, but oops, I fucked up and I know I did.
Yeah.
I just feel like it would have put a little bit more impact on it. I don't know how to explain it. I just feel like it would have grounded him to be a little bit more like, oh no, like I kind of fucked up a little bit.
Yeah.
I know I'm in the wrong, but I'm still gonna leave because I'm mad. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, you get my point a little bit.
So yeah, but I also love the way he brings up when he mentions his dad. He's like, you had a moral obligation to do those things, right? And he's like, that's great. So where is he?
Yes, that's what it is.
Ben is like, what? He's like,
yes,
that's great. Where is he? Was it not his responsibility to be here and tell me these things himself? Yes. And Ben's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And Ben goes, how dare you? He goes, how dare I? How dare you?
Yes.
That line, dude. Oh, God. The way he delivers it, too.
Yes, yeah. It's
Andrew
good.
Garfield is too good. He's
that whole argument is good. That's what I meant. It was that scene.
How dare you?
But it's so good.
So amazing. So, yeah. So then he runs off and May is like, just let him go cool off for a while. Just give him some
and
time.
He should have fucking listened.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I bet you she blames herself for not trying a little bit harder to keep him there. But anyway, so he goes off and he starts calling his name. And I love this little interaction that he has with the cashier. It's so fucking funny.
Yeah.
He's like,
come on, man.
You can leave a penny. You can't take a penny.
Yeah.
He's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I love the look on his face. Like, what do you mean? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And the cashier's like, oh, Daddy didn't give you enough milk money today.
Yeah, like,
it's
dude.
Like, it's so fucking funny, though. Like, he's being shitty, but it is funny.
It is funny, yeah.
And he's like, oh, fuck this. And he, like, starts to walk away. And then, the guy robs the cash register. And he does say something like, store policy. We can't fucking do this shit. We can't give it to you. You have to pay for it fully. And then the guy robs him, and he sees that he saw him do it. He's like, here, take the milk. Kind of like trying to bribe him and silence him. And, he runs out. And I feel like this is kind of fun. Like, it's kind of fun. Like, they do a few things where they took the stuff from...
All right, so...
Sorry, I had some mic issues. So what was I saying? So, yeah, what do you think about, like, not my policy? Instead of Missed the Part Where That's My Problem. I think Missed the Part Where That's My Problem is better. But this is like a fun little nod to
it. It is a fun. Like. That's all it is.
It's not. They're not trying to make it better. They're not trying to redo it. They're just. It's a little tongue in cheek nod. What
I was gonna say was all this is a show of respect of like, hey, I kind of respect the material before us, but we're still making it kind of our own. I don't think, like you said, they're not trying to
improve
so
on it or make it.
No.
Yeah, I think it was just.
That's literally what it is.
I used to kind of think that way, but when I was watching it this time, I was like, that's kind of fun. Like, that's kind of fun that they did a little twist on it.
Yeah, that was just a nod to the movies. That's
I love that. So I love that Ben actually has a reason to be shot in the scene. Like, it's not just, oh, Sandman looked this way and then accidentally shot him. It's like he goes after. He sees the gun. The dude clearly just robbed his store. He's like, holy, what the fuck? Like, he tries to stop him, which he probably shouldn't have done. But whatever. That's in his kind of character, I guess, to try and stop people like that. So, and then he gets shot. Guy runs away, and then holy shit, dude, this is so fucking sad, dude.
Yeah,
so fucking sad.
Yep.
This is exactly what I was talking about in comparison to the original. Like, having Ben's dead immediately. They get no moment together. Nope. They get no, like, reconciliation, nothing. He just sees him across the street, and he's fucking devastated because he's never going to get to say anything to him ever again, not going to get to apologize, nothing. And that maybe, to your point when you were saying, like, oh, if he had said something, it would have kind of fucked with this. If he had said, like, oh, I'm sorry, you know what I mean? If he says anything that, like, shows that he's, not fully enraged at him or whatever, like if they had any sort of apology, it kind of takes away from how fucked it is that he can never talk to him again and apologize for what he did.
I semi-agree with you on there.
So I feel like you might be right, but they can't really, because it would kind of fuck with this, if that makes sense. So just, oh my God, it's so sad. It's
the only reason that I say
sad.
It would have been, so the only reason I say it would have been better for Peter to say sorry, and I should have actually said this when I was talking about it, is it would have made sense for Peter to say sorry, but it would have made more sense, him saying sorry, like, would have made more sense for Ben to go chase after him, because it would have been like, oh, clearly he's not, like, there's more to this, like, let me go find him, like, he's clearly going to some shit, let me go look for him.
I think Ben is going after him because
well, he said it's dangerous.
Because what?
He said it's dangerous. They live in a dangerous area.
Well, but it's also because he's trying to go and, because the dad thing, like he's trying to go comfort him and say, like, hey, look.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I felt if he had said sorry on the verge of tears, it would have been great, because it would have been like, oh my God, I gotta go find him, because argument was a mistake.
He is on the verge of tears. He just doesn't say anything. You can see he's like clearly about to fucking
burst.
brawl.
Yeah.
Anyway,
he's bursting at the seam.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So then, he's Ben's dead.
Yeah.
And he goes up and he tries to listen to the voicemail and he can't do it.
No, he can't.
Can't get through it.
Which, dude, they did this in both movies, and I like this better than in the second one.
The second one,
because he
speech?
didn't try to see it. The speech, he sees it after.
I don't know what you mean exactly though. What are you saying? You're just saying
I don't want to talk about the second one yet.
Okay.
I don't want to talk about the second one yet. Remind me later.
So then,
with a character's death and then seeing a message from them after is what I'm saying.
So he goes to school, and Flash comes up.
I love this. Is what I'm like. I like Flash so much better.
He's
than
like,
this.
"Hey, Parker," and he fucking slams him into the locker
instantly.
And he's like, "Dude, I get it. I'm sorry. Your uncle died.
I get it.
I'm sorry."
Yeah. It's so good. It gives more it gives Flash a more fleshed out like, "Oh, I'm your bully." No, it gives him he's human.
A normal person.
He's a fucking human, bro. Like everybody feels bad for him. You can tell because everybody in the hallway is looking at him. They're like, "Oh no!" Like, it's really nice.
So, and I love he goes home and he tucks in Aunt May. It's very cute the way he just he sees her there and he tucks her in and then he goes upstairs.
Oh, and let's not talk about Aunt May. She's not sleeping in her bed.
No,
she's sleeping on the couch because clearly she's uncomfortable because she slept next to this man for years. So it's good for her character too.
So so then he's just like walking down the street and he sees a guy like threatening this girl in the alley.
Here is my absolute. Like, it's funny because I keep saying this, and you'll probably keep hearing me, but this is one of my favorite reasons. This is one of the better movies. This scene is so good because we don't get like Uncle Ben dies and then boom, there's the killer. I chase him.
Yeah.
And it doesn't. No, this revenge, fucking it
sequence,
lingers.
Yeah.
And it festers and it builds up right to the point where it's like, oh shit, like Peter could be a villain if he didn't get the one scene that saves him as a hero. Yeah, there's a scene where it's like it instantly clicks where he's like, I have to be a hero.
So he finds this guy in the alley.
Yeah.
And he looks like the guy, which by the way, there's a lot of guys.
Yeah, apparently they all look alike. Hey, villains.
It's a lot of
light beard, long hair.
Fucking... I mean, look, it can't be that unrealistic because clearly they sent out a casting call for people who look like that, and there had to be a lot of them. So hey, I guess apparently, it's not that unrealistic.
But
so yeah, he goes fucking ham on this guy. He's like, "You fucking like being an old man? You piece of shit!"
And the guy's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Like,
what the fuck?
Yeah. And then he peels his
wailing
sleeve.
on him. He starts
apparently almost everybody wears long sleeves too, apparently.
Yeah. But he starts wailing on him and these other guys show up and he's like, oh shit. Starts running.
Yeah.
All of this again is practical. All the flips, jumps, parkour. He jumps on the side of the wall at one time and punches down somebody, which I always thought was so cool. Like great use of the abilities. And the climbing, when he first starts climbing, the music and it's all practical as well. So cool. And then great way, I
gotta get myself a desk that I can slam without stopping our recording.
Yeah, just like a miniature desk that comes up right
here. Just like
a little thing.
I want my J. Jonah Jameson moment.
Yeah. So and then he gets the guy off the edge of the roof, sees that the star isn't tattooed on his wrist, and he's like,
so he pulls him up.
Yeah.
He goes to leave.
And he falls down. Right.
I don't care for this.
I do like it. I used to not like it, but now on second thought, especially after watching the original ones. First off, there's no fucking way in a movie like this that they're doing the wrestling thing. It would never have worked.
No.
It would never have worked. There's no way they could have done it. So, sure, really what it is the fact that he falls into a wrestling ring is really a nod to that.
Yes, it is.
But also, it's such a great way for him to realize when he falls in, they're like, we know what you look like.
Yes.
We're going to fucking track you down.
That I like. So he sees, luchadors and masks. It makes sense.
And
I don't care that.
And of
I don't
course,
care that the suit came from this.
Well, where would he, realistically, where would he come up with a fucking design for this suit? You know what I mean? Of course, he would see something and be like, let me use that, and then, springboard off of like an idea. Where do you just... Like, obviously, I guess somebody came up with it, when Stan Lee invented Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But it had to be inspired from something. You don't just invent that.
Yeah, I just wish it was inspired from something else. That's my only complaint. It's like he fell in a ring. And
what would it be, though?
Could have been anything else. I'm getting hiccups. I don't like this. Sorry,
where would he see like a masked face, though?
I mean, you're right.
That would be like more realistic.
I mean, I get it.
I know it's convenient that he fell into a ring and all that, but
that's my problem. It's
such a great way for him to realize... Oh shit! They've seen my face. I need to start covering my face, and then mask, and then you see him sketching it and start working out the idea for the costume. I really like it. I didn't used to like. I used to be like, oh god, wrestling ring, wow, great, but it makes sense. It's the best way I think that they could have done it without doing the actual wrestling thing.
Yeah,
because
I can agree with you on this.
There's no fucking way they could do the wrestling thing.
Now that you're putting it, this is why I like having these discussions because you do put it in a better perspective. Like obviously, they were going to do the wrestling thing. You're right on that. There's no way. But it's a good way, like you said, it's a good way to still do the nod to the old movies, but still make it its own thing where he needs a mask and then saying, we know what you look like.
Is when people saw this movie, so fresh in their minds, they're like, oh, they're just trying to do it again.
Yeah.
No, they're just doing like...
They're respecting it.
They're respecting
it.
They're paying
a homage to it.
Yeah,
exactly. There we go, yeah.
It's not this whole thing where like, we did it better. We didn't do the wrestling thing. He dropped into a ring. No, it's just...
it's paying homage.
Yeah, exactly. Great first suit.
Dude.
It's a great first suit because it's just he doesn't make it. It's literally just normal clothes and a ski mask.
I don't want to say he has a. Oh wait, we don't get the full suit reveal yet. Yeah,
it's not like he fucking went to some like TJ Maxx or is TJ Maxx so close?
I don't know.
Why that pops in my head. It's not like he goes to a Target and finds here's a nice convenient giant red sweater that has a spider on the front of it. It's like
okay,
how did you do that? In this, he's just wearing normal clothes and he sews a mask.
Yes,
and it's like he uses sunglass pieces for the eyes.
Yes,
great.
Very
believable first costume. It doesn't look amazing.
You and I are going to disagree on this. It's not supposed to look amazing. You're right.
Yeah.
I still really like Tom Holland's. I like Tom Holland's.
That's the best one.
Yeah,
but I'm not talking about. We haven't gotten there yet. So I'm not talking about that. But that's easily the best one. That's fucking that one.
I love that one.
Amazing.
It's like he made it himself clearly, and like
so
I like
good.
that one. Yeah. Especially when they have a conversation about it, where he's like the goggles. He's like, it's for my like. Sorry. Yeah. Anyways,
and that it's amazing. So, Spider-Man. He makes the first suit, and he uses pieces. You can see he uses pieces from a watch to make the shooters.
Yes.
And so,
what I like is as he starts to make his suit, you can see where he's upgrading it, and like he's like, I need to do this.
So at first, I was like, I guess he doesn't make the web fluid. He just uses the bio cable.
Yeah.
But it's not that. He takes the cable and uses it to develop web fluid.
Yes.
It's a different thing and that explains as well. It's like an in-universe explanation for why. Remember when we talked about in the Raimi movies how his webs are so bungee and shit? These are cables. Bio-cable.
Yes.
So like they're a little bit stretchy, but they're not a bungee cord like they are in Raimi. So it makes sense when you get to the second one, I guess.
Yeah.
But anyway, they're very different. And it's like he took that and developed it into this sticky, webby substance. But, he didn't fully invent it from scratch. You know what I mean?
It's one thing I just realized too.
What?
He's never saved anybody from falling until that moment.
Well, no, he did. He saved the kid in the car.
No, but he never latched onto anybody with a web.
Yeah,
no, but it wasn't. I'm talking about like from a long fall.
No, not from a long fall.
Yeah, no, this wasn't even remotely
a
long fall. Yeah,
but
and still the kid. Still, he jerks.
Yeah.
He's like he still jerks.
Imagine he murdered that kid.
Right?
Jesus.
Like, here's your
then
child.
He brings the corpse up, and he's like, "I'm Spider-Man." He swims off.
They're like, "Spider-Man's a murderer."
Yeah, it'd be a great way to introduce James. So he uses also I love he uses like pieces from a watch to build the actual shooters themselves, which by the way looks so fucking cool.
Yes,
fucking cool.
They're on the outside of the suit, which is even fucking more amazing in my opinion.
Exactly.
Like, yes.
Spider-Man. Anyway, so the CGI, or not the CGI, but the CGI when he falls, but also the green screen or the blue screen on the roof. It's not great.
No.
It's a little iffy. But I mean, we've seen worse in Spider-Man 1.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's doing like the handstand. This is all practical as well. They built like the rooftop, and it's all surrounded by blue screen. But he's actually like on cables, and he's doing the handstand, fingers thing. And then he falls. And then when he falls, the CGI is a little weird too. And, I'm sure you probably want to point out, like, he did web sling, like, and crashing all this shit in the middle of the street in the middle of the day.
Yep, I put
they show around him that there's no one there, but, like, I don't know.
No,
I don't know. It's a little weird.
No, it's still, yes. I even put a note, I'm like, no, no, bro. It was in front of a shop in New York.
Yeah.
And, they showed that the street is empty, right? And like, I think the note that I wrote was, like, New York is never that empty, bro, like, ever.
So, but then he gets his actual suit, right? No, not
yet. He's, no, he does.
No, not quite yet. We're skipping a couple things because he has a first jump. His first jump off, he's up on the thing, he's listening to the police scanner, and he jumps off and he lashes onto the helicopter. So fucking cool.
I remember that scene.
It's like he's on like a gargoyle. He's listening to police scanner.
Oh yeah,
he's still in the shitty suit.
Yes.
And then he jumps off and like latches on. It's so cool.
Yes.
Like, it's the great first jump. And then we cut and we get introduced to Dennis Leary as Captain Stacy.
Yep.
And he's walking out. He's like, this guy's a fucking anarchist. Fuck this guy.
He's the J. Jonah Jameson of this.
Yeah. And then fucking the guy drops down in front of him and you see him like swinging around the building. And so then he gets his first suit, and he's like, spandex. Everything is spandex.
Yes.
And
I love the reveal.
It's just so much more believable that he could make it. Like, he just fucking
and it's not
bought
even
a bunch
it's
of spandex
the reveal,
online and made it.
Yeah, but it's the reveal is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like,
so the thing about this is, this scene is heavily edited down. Like, this scene was like 5 minutes in the original cut of him running like in first person and doing all this shit and flips and jumps and then landing finally on the building.
Yeah.
They cut it down to like 30 seconds.
Good.
Yeah. Well, no.
Good.
It shouldn't have been as long as it originally was, but I would have liked a little bit more because when you've seen the original one and then you watch this one, it's like a bunch of jump cuts in this. But that's just because I've seen the original, so it's a little weird. I think they could have been used a little bit more because it's a nice sequence of him running and jumping off the building.
Yes.
If you just kept that and then swing onto the glass, that would have been good. I think it's just like instead you see him running a little bit, then it smash cuts to him swinging. It's like, okay, we could have had a little bit of connective tissue there.
Yeah.
So, but I guess I felt like they had to edit it down. Either way, it's still great.
Really good. I love it. He hits the glass, and it's just like, dude, and you see the scene, you're like, oh, this suit is sexy.
And then you go, dun, 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 and he's on the roof and like seeing the whole city. It's like, and this suit is really great.
Yes.
It's very.
It's actually not my favorite suit of all time, but it's up there.
It's very high up there. Yeah. It's very very underrated suit. Especially for like the believability of it in the universe of like how he would make that shit. You know what I mean? So, let me get the car thief scene. Yeah. The guy gets in. He's already in the car.
Right off this bat, this is how you know this is the best Spider-Man.
Yeah, and he's like,
it's the best. You know it's the quippiest Spider-Man.
If you're gonna steal cars, don't dress like a car thief, man. And he's fucking webbing the
Which
door
you find
back
out on purpose. It's on purpose later.
Yeah.
I'm saying the car thief thing. Like, yeah, it's a setup.
Yeah, of course. And he's like going out the window. He's like, "Good thinking. Get out the window, man. There you go."
Yeah. And then he's like,
"Crotch!" He hits him and fucking throws him down. And then the best part of the whole scene, he's like, he pulls the knife. He's like, "Is that a knife? Oh God! Oh no! My weakness. It's small knives."
Dude, this Spider-Man is so quippy, man.
It's so good, dude.
It's amazing, Spider-Man. But I had to throw it in there, man. I have to.
And then I love the absolute fucking casual bullet dodges when the cop shoots at him, which, by the way, fucking trigger happy cop. I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah. He unloads a clip at him.
Hey, relax. This isn't Miles.
He's just staying there. He's like, hey, I got this guy. He's like, boom! He's like, yeah. Okay. Never mind.
It's not Miles, bro.
Right.
Calm down.
Yeah, well, he doesn't know. Maybe he just assumed.
True, yeah, maybe.
Racist.
But,
this whole escape sequence is practical. All the running, getting on the cars, jumping between them, everything's practical. And including when he swings away at the end, it's all real.
Damn,
They
dude.
actually like built this like I don't know if they built the bridge there.
That's gotta be why the web swinging seems so fucking good in this.
It's real. They actually set up cables and he's jumping between each cable and grabbing them, and then they just CGI'd in the webs later. It's totally practical. It's fucking awesome.
It's good.
Yeah, it's amazing. So
Spider-Man. You can't start the bit and then end it. You can't.
I didn't even think I didn't realize I said it that
You
time.
were? You said it so many times.
But I didn't realize I said it
that
time.
Oh, okay, yeah, sorry, yeah.
Anyway.
No, anytime anybody say it, I'm telling you, one of us got to catch it.
So, May's waiting out for him when he gets home.
Yes.
And I love
Believable.
I love how he opens the door a crack to kind of sneak in, and he's like, well, I already opened the door. I know she's there. Fuck it. And then he just goes in.
Yes. And by the way, I'm pretty sure it's because it's spider sense. It's not
because he can't take back opening the door. He knows she knows. Yes. So he's like, fuck it, I'm just going to go in.
Yep.
And she's like, did you get the eggs at least? And he's like, I'm going to get the eggs now. And she's like, no, you fucking aren't.
So this scene is extremely believable. And I actually feel for Aunt May because what just happened?
Yeah.
Like, fucking Ben's dead because they went out late at night. And, like, so of course she's going to stay up. She's absolutely worried about him. And it's just like Peter. Like, relax,
yeah,
bro.
and she's so good in the scene. Sally Field is fucking phenomenal.
Yes, she's an amazing actress.
She's the best Aunt May.
Yeah,
right?
She is. Like, no, I agree. I agree. Best Aunt May.
And so, yeah, the way that she...
Well...
Marissa Tomei is okay. But
the only reason I'll explain to you why I like her later. It's like... Yeah. It's a very subversion. There's a very subversion.
Let me not say okay. She's great. She's a great actress. No, but I just think that she doesn't get as much as this Aunt May does in terms of character.
She doesn't.
She's not there that much.
She doesn't. I'm just gonna say. I mean,
she gets her happy thing, but
I like her because it's a subversion, right? No, she's not. It's a subversion. She's not like, oh my god, don't be Spider-Man. She's like, oh my god, you're Spider-Man. Like at first when she finds out, she's like, what the fuck, and they cut it. But then she's like super onto it. She's like, yeah, you're Spider-Man. Like,
well,
I know. Yeah, of course. What's her name knows. Sally Field. Sally Field's character knows. He takes off the mask like that's not what she finds out.
Let's wait a minute.
Sorry, not takes off the mask. She's like, what is this? She says to him, she's like, turn around. He's in the shadow. I'm saying,
he has a hood on.
Yeah,
she's like, Jesus Christ, where do you go? Who does this to you? Oh, she doesn't know yet. She doesn't know yet. I don't think. But no, she's asking. She's like, who does this to you? And he's like, just please go to sleep. And she's like, I can't sleep.
Oh, dude,
and the way she says it though, and she also says like, you know shit's real because she goes, take off the damn hood.
Yes, and she doesn't talk like that.
She throws a little fucking curse in there, and you're like, oh, shit's real.
This I will say,
this is one of the best
interaction
scenes ever.
In terms of believable emotion, bro, this movie has it hands down.
Yeah.
I will say this right now: The Amazing Spider-Man 1. Okay, top tier.
Okay,
top tier. It's my number one.
So then we cut over to Connors and the guy. I wish I looked up his name, but he's saying we have to start human trials right now.
Yeah, right now.
Norman is dying. We have to start him.
I love this because Connors is like, no. He puts his foot down.
Yeah,
he's like, no. He's like, fuck you guys, right? And then the guy's like, well, pack your shit up and get the fuck out. Like, bro,
and he's also like, and we have the formula now anyway. I think we'll go start testing at the Veterans Hospital. He's like, are you fucking out of your mind?
It's amazing though, right? Because now this is where they managed to keep Connors a good guy, but a desperate good guy, because that's where he's like, oh my god, I'm about to lose everything. He's like, I don't want to start human trials. He's like, fuck it. He's like, this would help me anyways. And he's like, boom, and he fucking...
what he's doing is he's like, yeah, it'll help me, but really he's making essentially a self-sacrifice to try and save those veterans that he's going to go inject. Because he
doesn't tell them though.
Well, I know, but immediately as soon as it does work, he goes to call him up and say, hey, you got to stop.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
That's the whole point, though, is that he's doing it so that if it works on him, then he can be like, hey, don't test it on those people.
Yeah.
I did it to myself.
Yeah,
that's why he does it.
It's true. It's like, that's how they try to keep him a good guy.
He's completely sacrificing himself.
But unfortunately, what ends up happening is he doesn't get on the phone with him. Like, he doesn't.
But how is he supposed to know? His plan is to do it.
No, I know.
One way or another.
Yeah, it's him trying to be extremely nice.
Even if it doesn't work, maybe, he's hoping that, maybe if I die or something, he'll see that and be like, let's not test this on humans yet. One way or another, he's sacrificing himself to try and save these people.
And what ends up happening is, it grows back, and it's funny because I love the scene. He doesn't realize his arm.
We're not there yet.
Oh, sorry, you're right.
So we come back to the school.
Yep.
And she's like, "Do you like Branzino?"
I forgot about that. Yeah.
And he's like, and she's like, the fish. She's like, oh yeah, I know what it is. Yeah, of course. Yeah. No one knows what Branzino is.
That's true.
No one has ever heard of Branzino.
Yeah, but it's funny how he tries to be like, oh, of course, Branzino, like,
he's like, yeah, we can come to this address and we can have sex later tonight.
Cool. Tell me it doesn't sound like a pasta, bro. Like Branzino sounds like a pasta.
That's because what is it, Barilla? Like it's pretty close.
But it's fucking funny. They're like, oh shit, he's about to go have some pasta. Like, anyway,
so then he agrees to that, and then we cut to Connors injecting himself.
Yes.
And then
he passes out, right?
Yes, and then we cut back to him going to her apartment.
Yes.
After he passes out, and he goes up to the fire escape.
Yes, which is so fucking funny because like they have such a good like.
Yeah. So
yeah,
he goes up to the fire escape, and it's like it's a little weird. It's a little
weird.
strange for him to do that.
Yeah.
I guess, and not just go in normally. I don't know why he chose to do it that way. So
this whole scene,
but it is adorable. It is adorable, especially when she sees him and she like immediately smiles and she's like, "Holy shit!"
But then the dad shows up.
And I could see also why she wouldn't question it. Like you would think she'd be like, "What the fuck?" But she's like,
she's just so into him anyways.
Weird. Yeah,
she's so into him. Yeah,
and
it's believably into him.
And I love, the dad walks in and he goes, "You must be Peter," and she goes, "Dad, this is Peter."
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, "I hope you like Branzino."
Yeah.
And and then we cut back to Lizard, and he's.
That's when he does the thing. Like
he does the arm thing. He doesn't realize it first.
So something that a lot of people don't know. Sorry, I'm not trying to go into an explanation. Is from a lot of people who get amputated.
Yeah, phantom limb.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, yeah. Phantom limb. They still feel it. Yeah. So to him, it's normal, but he knows it's not there.
I don't know if they say this movie though. Was he born that way or did he lose it?
I don't remember.
He was born that way.
He might have been.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's funny because he goes to
phantom limb pain if you're born that way.
Maybe I don't know.
You never have anything to compare.
Maybe
it with.
I don't know. They don't go into it enough. They don't. They really don't.
Well, I just mean like in real life.
Oh yeah, no, I don't know. But anyway, so yeah, he has the phantom. So he goes to lift up, and then boom, he hits his arm like. Yeah, and
he rips it open. And it's this weird fat-fingered baby hand.
Yeah,
and he touches the leg.
Yeah. I put fat baby. Or something like that. That's what I put on my nose. I think this is about where I start to lose my nose because this is when the movie starts to get good. And I'm like. Yeah, I really got into it.
So he tries to call up the guy, and he's like, I always lose him on the bridge. And he's like, you have to tell him to stop it. And then he starts losing it immediately. Yes. It starts hitting him.
Hulk.
So then he wants to go to the bridge to stop him. So he gets in the cab, and he's like, take me to the bridge. And the guy's like, you tweaking, man?
Yeah.
So and he's like, just drive.
Yeah, and the guy's like, okay. Right. Yeah, it's so good.
So I love this, dude. This dinner scene is so fucking good. It's so good. Let me just say as well, Dennis Leary, fucking amazing as Captain Stacy.
Yeah,
so good.
Yes.
One of he's
honestly everybody that's a major role in this movie.
A definitive Captain Stacy.
What I'm saying is everybody that's a major role in this movie.
Yeah,
amazing.
Yeah,
everybody this is Spider-Man. Damn it! It has to be said.
So anyway,
I didn't even realize it when you made me look. I was like, "Why is he looking at me?" I was like, "Fuck!"
It's just such a natural thing.
It is.
Say. So anyway, yeah. So they're having this conversation, and I love how he goes like, if I wanted that car thief off the street, he would have been. And Peter goes, so why wasn't he then?
Yes.
And he's like, excuse me? He's like, so why wasn't he then? He's like, let me let you know a little secret here. And he explains this whole sting operation. And Peter's
but it makes sense, right? What a way, right? For you to be like, damn, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You're not like, oh, don't be a dick and be jealous of Spider-Man. No, it's like,
yeah,
that makes sense. You're taking these petty criminals off the fucking street that are leading into bigger
and by the way,
things.
it's purely selfish. It's purely selfish.
No, what do you mean? Like him catching the villains?
Well, because he doesn't. Not all of them does he catch. Some of them he literally just grabs them, checks their wrist, and lets them go. There's the one guy that he webs up, but the first guy lets him go. There's another guy.
Well, no. You start to believe that as he starts to get better, he's actually catching these guys. Because he does start to kind of catch him. He webs the guy up to the wall and he leaves him there. He
does that. But
before that, he also hangs the guy.
Right after he he swings up on a guy, swings into him in the middle of the street, checks his wrist, leaves. And he also does it for that first guy. So it's purely selfish. Like if the guy was doing something, super, criminal, like car thief, he turns him in. But if it's just, a guy and he looks like the guy, he's just letting him go. Yeah. Letting him go. Yeah. Because he's just focused on getting revenge. Yes. And he's not Spider-Man yet.
Yes.
He's not
and
there
great.
yet.
And it's great because this upcoming scene is...
Because of course, he has no reason to fucking immediately go, I'm a hero.
Yeah,
that's his arc.
It's great.
He has to,
yes.
By the end of this movie, he is Spider-Man.
He is Spider-Man, yes. This is the ultimate origin story without being so fucking stupid. It's good.
So yeah, this whole conversation is great. And he's like, "What do you think we do all day? Sit around eating donuts, thumbs up our ass."
Yeah. and it's like this is what the conversation.
The kid's like, "Up your what, Dad?"
Up your what, Dad? Yes. Yeah. It's up your what, Dad? Yeah. It's so innocent, but it's so good. It's so good. And this is what I think Gwen or the mom tries to kind of intervene. They're like, "Hey, settle down."
Gwen's just there awkwardly laughing, like, "Ha ha ha ha, yeah."
But then she moves away from the table. She's irritated at this point.
Well, it also ends in like a, he apologizes, like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend
This
you.
is the important part that a lot of people don't understand how important this is. He's never disrespectful, man. Like he's not like, oh well, fuck you. Like no, he's like I'm
was
sorry.
Not my intention.
Yeah, he tries to be respectful.
Thank you for the food and all that stuff.
So good.
So then he goes up with her. And
the food that, by the way, we didn't talk about how awkward it was for him to eat it. He had no idea what to do. Yeah,
and he's like, I don't fucking know. Yeah. So they go up on the roof, and again,
here we go.
Greatest fucking thing. We don't do all this bullshit. Tells her immediately.
That was awkward. No, fix that. That was better. This was good.
The best thing.
Yes.
Always.
There was no bullshit. There was no, I'm trying to hide it. Mm-hmm. None of this, right? He's like, I'm Spider-Man. Like,
well, he doesn't say right.
He builds
he's
up
struggling
into
with
it,
but
he builds into it.
I love as well, by the way, I wrote here, this is smooth. So much sexier than the Upside Down Kiss. So much sexier than the Upside Down Kiss. I was rock solid.
I was bricked up. Yeah. No, it was good.
But the way...
I think Rachel even was like, that was smooth.
I want to be Gwen Stacy in this scene. I don't want
to be Spider-Man.
I want him to web my ass and pull me in. You know what I'm saying?
He does it so smooth.
It's so attractive.
It's so good. So good. It is. It's good. It's good.
And then she's like, you're fucking... And he's like, shut the fuck up and kiss me.
Yeah, and like...
Not like that. It's way sexier. It's way sexier than that.
It's good. It's really good. It's smooth. And the mom walks in and interrupts it. And she's like, Mom.
The thing about both of these movies is honestly, if you gave me, like a what if scenario, you give me a coin, you say, flip this coin. Heads, you have to be Gwen in all the intimate scenes in these movies. Tails, you have to be Peter. I'm taking that choice. I don't give a fuck. I'll be either one. Either way, I'm kissing one of the most attractive people in the world.
They're great.
It's like, I don't care. I'll be either of them. So... there's so much great build up with this bridge scene, like the way he turns and he's looking, and as soon as his spider sense goes off and he looks down at the bridge, he doesn't look back at her once. He's so laser focused, and he just jumps. And
not only is he focused, he's clearly a little bit overwhelmed too.
Yeah,
this is his first biggest is his biggest oh my god, what am I gonna do? Like that's why he's so focused because he's overwhelmed. That's why they give you that scene.
What the fuck is going on?
And
I gotta go.
Yeah. And
then she's like, fuck, I'm in trouble.
Yeah, I love that line. She's like, I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
So, great. Another great thing. They did, it's CGI, but it's practical in that when he's in the car and the lizard starts bursting through the window and scratching down at him.
Yeah.
They actually had this like hand apparatus that was punching through the window. They had little things where they would pull it and scrape the leather off the thing right next to him. So they did it all in one take. So he's actually reacting to the leather being pulled off, the windows breaking, everything's coming at him, and then they just added the hand in post.
Nice.
So it just it makes it so believable.
It's good.
It's the perfect blend of CGI and practical throughout all of this.
That's extra. They didn't even need to do all that.
No, they didn't at all.
But it's good.
It makes it so good. Yeah. Okay, so... he comes in. This really isn't a fight. It's more about him saving the people than anything else. So he sees him. He swings in, kicks the lizard off, and like the car drops, and he goes and saves it.
Yes.
And then the other guy's like, my kid, somebody got my kid. Goes straight to that car, jumps in, rips the fucking back off, and he's like, hey. And I love absolutely no hesitation. Mask off.
Yes.
No hesitation.
God, this scene,
anything to make this kid comfortable.
This scene is powerful as fuck.
This is Spider-Man.
You ready for this?
Spider-Man.
Controversial. You ready for this? Controversial.
I don't think it's controversial.
It is. This scene is better than that stupid subway scene. This scene is better than the boat scene. Because even though he's not like, oh my god, look at my strength. He's like, oh my god,
though.
Look at my strength. When I say look at my strength, it's not. No. What I'm saying is not look at my strength when I'm catching a car. It's look at my strength of like how much I can impact a person.
Yeah.
Because
it's intimate and it's
so good, dude.
It's so good.
He tells the kid, he's like, hey, look, I'm a regular guy just like you. Like
Spider-Man.
And the kid's like, oh my god, and then he like
because the kid is screaming.
Yeah, the kid's terrified.
Like, no, look, and then regular guy.
And I love the scene where he's like. Put on my mask.
It'll make you strong.
It'll make you strong. Yeah, dude, it's so good. Mm-hmm. It outbeats any of the other scenes. I don't care.
Spider-Man.
Yes.
And that's why, as soon as he gets back up from this, I'm Spider-Man. And he swings away.
And that's the thing that people don't realize is
the guy who saves people. He's not in it for himself anymore.
And I'm going to just jump to the second one for a second. Is what Spider-Man is meant to be is hope. Like, that is what he's meant to be. And that's exactly what the scene portrays. It's so good, man. Oh.
So,
It's intimate. It's impactful.
It's iconic Spider-Man.
Yeah,
This is
and it's bullshit that this scene isn't talked about enough, in my opinion.
ridiculous.
It's always, oh my god, the subway scene, or oh, the boat scene. Yeah, that's great,
Ridiculous.
but this is
I don't know
this
if
is strength.
I think I think this doesn't. I don't know if the boat scene really is in the same vein as these two because
It is.
Well, yeah, because it's showing strength, but subway scene is about, in a way, his connection to the people.
Yes.
This is his connection to the kid. The boat scene, he's just saving people. He doesn't have an intimate connection with any of those people. He's just saving them.
Yes and no. It's
so
like you're supposed to see him in a okay. So what it is?
Stressful situation trying to save these people.
That's what it is. It's supposed to be a desperate attempt at rescue.
But
that's
the
what
connection
it's supposed to be.
isn't. It's not as intimate as those two. So
No,
I would
it's
keep
not.
it in slightly a separate category.
Maybe,
It's
but
more
that's
about
what people always
strength.
compare. They're like, who's stronger? And they always try to be like, look at this boat scene,
but
look at the subway scene.
Who cares?
No.
Who cares who's strong?
What I meant is
What's
like
more
the
important
impact
is the character.
What I think these scenes, all three of these scenes portray is, in a desperate moment, how much he's willing to push to get himself in this situation. And though it doesn't exactly do that with this kid scene, it still shows you the intimate moment of like what he's willing to do to help a person out. And yes, it's this moment. This is a key pivotal moment for him because it's in this moment where
he becomes Spider-Man.
Yes, where he's like, I'm a hero. Like I am.
And
for
you
the
know,
people,
it's a little weird, but I also just like kind of glad that they didn't beat around the bush with the name either. There's no like, somebody else gave him the name, or it's he just calls himself Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And
another thing,
it works in this. It doesn't work in some other things. Like I've been watching Daredevil. Like Daredevil does a great job of that. Of like he doesn't even get the name until like mid season 2.
Yeah. And
like
he's
that works.
What is he? What do they call him?
Devil of Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah. Yep.
But they eventually get to Daredevil. But they take such a long time to set it up, and it's very natural and cohesive in that show. But you don't always need to have it be so built up and
but
natural.
it works for that, like you said.
Yeah, but and it works in there, and here it also works that he just makes it up.
Yes.
Because he's a teenager. He's like, I'm Spider-Man.
What if he meant to be like, I'm a Spider-Man? Like when somebody was like, oh, he's Spider-Man. Like, nah.
So. Yeah, Captain Stacy is so good.
Yeah.
I think this is when he goes to... No. Wait. Excuse me.
Oh my God, bro. We're like an hour and 36
yeah,
minutes
he goes...
Holy shit. We're longer than the movie.
He goes to the police precinct and he's like, hey, you got to listen to me. Look into this guy. He turned himself into a giant lizard. No, this is later, isn't it?
No.
I'm skipping ahead.
Yeah, did you? What the fuck happened to
I
your
don't know
notes?
why I wrote Captain Stacy is so good. Maybe it's just because
No, it is that scene. It is that scene because he tells him, he's like, look into this. And at first he's like,
that's
fuck
after
off.
he goes and visits Connor at the office. Connor's. And Connor's is like, I'm
you're
the
right.
lizard, but I'm not the lizard.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So I don't know why I wrote that. But anyway, he's going down the street and he sees lizards going into the sewers.
But he doesn't think anything fully of it at this moment.
And then he sees the Daily Bugle paper, whatever. And it says like reward pictures for proof of the giant lizard. So he goes into the sewers. So he goes down and he sets up this web in the sewers, just like a real spider. And
this scene is
the
good.
way he uses it is exactly how spiders use it. They set up the web and then they wait to feel vibrations on each individual strand to track their prey.
This scene is amazing. It's so good, right?
So
and
good.
it's like it's so good, bro. It's just everything about it is really good. Just to set up the fact that he clearly was there to take a picture of the fucking lizard.
Yeah.
It's just really good.
So
doesn't work as planned, but
yeah, the lizard shows up. And here's the thing. Okay. How do you feel about the design of the lizard?
I don't like his face.
That's the only part that people don't like.
I don't like his face. Something about it is really weird. It's not very lizardy.
So yeah. The reason they did it is because the only way they could get away with him talking was to make him have a human face, so that they could have mouth movements. So that's fair, and I've always defended that. But now, on second thought, watching it, he doesn't need to talk. There's never a point where he needs to say anything.
I think he only talks once, twice.
He talks like 2 or 3 times.
But it's
like
not
in
even on his
and
face.
At the end. No, it is on his face. He definitely talks when it's on his face. But it's just like, he doesn't need to be saying these things. He could just be an animal like screaming at Spider-Man and attacking him.
Could be.
He's just saying stuff to kind of taunt him. It doesn't need to be there. You know what I mean?
No, I
he
actually
could
agree.
be full snouted lizard.
Should have been a full snouted lizard.
I just seemed unnecessary. Like, because they went with him talking, yeah, of course they needed to make him have his face like that. But
no.
They didn't even need to have him talk to begin with, I think. But I still don't hate it. I don't hate it. I think it's fine.
It could have been better. It could have looked more menacing.
Yeah, it's not definitive. It's not the definitive version of the lizard. We haven't gotten there yet, I don't think. Even though Connor's is great and everything. But
I think the greatest
it's just the
design I've ever seen for the lizard in the comics is the one where it's simple. It's the purple pants, the ripped up jacket with the lizard. I would love to
snout,
see that. Yeah.
So, anyway, they fight, and they get dropped in the water. He gets away just barely, and Lizard finds the camera and figures out it's Peter.
Yep.
And
good way to good. It's funny because I still don't care for him finding out it's Peter, because I prefer the tense scenes that the other two have had. Yeah. More Tom Holland scene. That's extremely tense. Like, it's really good. I don't think anything will ever beat that, honestly.
But again, it's like, we've seen it, now, so it's kind of nice to just let's get it over with. He finds it out.
And immediately, you would think almost immediately goes to the school.
Well, yeah. So he goes to Gwen's, and he's fucked up. By the way, the wizard fucking.
Yes. How awesome though? How awesome is this scene? Because he stops at the window, right? She doesn't know he's hurt.
She hasn't realized.
She's just used to him stopping at the window, right?
He's just like laughing.
She's like, "Oh hey," and they're like,
"Yeah,
he's trying to think," and then he falls over, and she's like, "Oh my god, Peter!" Like Liz instantly, amazing acting. She instantly is just like, "Oh my god!" Like instantly concerned. It's so good.
So, I love, the dad comes to me like, "Hey, Howard's making some cocoa. You want some cocoa?" And she's like, "No." Yes. I don't want cocoa. I'm not 12.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, I just thought you might want some cocoa. And then as a kid watching this, I didn't get what she was saying. I was like, oh man, she's saying her stomach is hurting.
Yeah, I know.
Now I'm like, oh, okay. And that's why it was so awkward for him.
Yeah, because it's fucking cramps,
And I love, he goes in to like start kissing her. And she goes, easy, bug boy. But if you ever go back and like listen to it again, if you're listening to it, you don't know that's what she says. Just listen to it and think in your mind, "Easy, fuck boy." It's what it sounds like she says that.
I mean, it might be.
It really does sound like she says that, especially if you're thinking that in your mind. You just hear her go, "Easy, fuck boy," as he like leans in for a kiss. But yeah, this whole scene is great, and him talking about like maybe I created this thing. I need to stop it.
Yes. Right? It's not that he's like, I need to be this hero. No, it's like, I need to take responsibility. Going back to the whole responsibility thing. But it's so good.
So, yeah. Somewhere, I guess I didn't actually put down a note about the football scene, because that has to have happened. That happened after the bridge, where they're on the bleachers.
Yeah, and somebody does he's literally
and he throws it, and that's like the most unbelievable thing.
Yeah,
somebody
that scene is rough. Yeah. What?
Like, how the fuck did you do that?
Yeah,
Instead they're just like, hey, you should come play on the team.
Yeah,
it's like, what? No, I don't think so. He probably killed someone.
But yeah.
So anyway, we skipped over that. I thought I made a note about it. Anyway, Lizard's coming out of the toilets, baby. He's out of the. He's coming out.
Like the
coat, the lab coat gets ripped off of him. And I wrote practical.
I'm assuming you're talking about the break, maybe?
Something about this. I think it's like, well, they had a guy there. So they had a guy like in a suit that was slamming him around, throwing him through.
Didn't you tell yourself you're going to start putting cliff notes on your notes so you know what the fuck you're talking about?
Well, I mean, yeah, I did on some of them.
My boy wrote practical. But
anyway,
practical
like he throws him through the wall, all completely practical. He actually got pulled by a cable through the wall. And it was actually Andrew, too. He did the stunt, so you can see his face the whole time. And there's a guy there who's actually picking him up and slamming him into the lockers, so it's all very tangible when he's getting thrown around. It's not.
Yeah,
they're not
you're
both
probably
CGI.
talking about just literally the whole scene.
They're not both CGI. It's just the lizard, and he's actually getting slammed around.
Yeah.
And I love him mixing up chemicals, like showing that he still has his intelligence, and like tossing a bomb in there. And just the way that Spider-Man moves through this whole fight is fucking great.
His movement is so
Every
good.
like attack that he does, and the way he's crawling on the ceiling and webbing
it's
and
swift.
going.
It's
he webs
swift.
him up against the locker, and he pulls it off, and then it's like a fucking sword.
Yep.
It's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
It's like this whole scene is just great.
Yeah, and of course we get our.
Well, he gets we do.
Oh wait, there's a Gwen.
He goes to the bridge. Yeah, and Gwen saves him.
Oh, so good.
And then he's about to attack her, and dude, the cocoon thing and the music swells up, and he's crawling all over him just like a spider, and fucking, it's amazing, dude.
Yes, Spider-Man.
And he's like, yeah, exactly. Oh shit.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I'm sure we already missed it somewhere. Yeah.
And then he goes, I'm gonna throw you out the window now. And she's like, what?
And then he does. yeah. And he webs her at the same time and sticks her. Yeah.
So, and then we get the Stan Lee cameo.
Yes, it's a good one.
Just amazing.
It's a good one.
Shit! I said it again.
Yeah, damn it.
It's just so good, though. It's just so fucking good. It's so good. So, yeah. So skipping ahead a little bit, he kind of goes down to the sewers, and he calls up Gwen, and he's like, listen, you need to make this antidote. Mm-hmm. and I'm gonna go investigate his little lizard hideout.
Yes. So what we're getting to right now is the I don't know what's the word, crescendo, whatever. It's like where everything's starting to like
The third act,
turn
the
ahead, and
climax.
it's like this is where it's like this is where it starts to take a really good dip in a good way. I mean, like
Yeah, it's all downhill from here.
yeah, in a good way, but whatever.
So
you say.
there was originally a scene here where he follows him down there, and they actually have a conversation. Him as Connors, and them, they talk. And so, like, you know, there's that scene where where he like injects himself again. He's like, I can save them or whatever.
Yeah.
Like before he goes off, a bunch of those lines are actually lines that he said to Peter in the cut scene, but they just put them in the back of his head. So I just thought that was interesting. I don't think it's better or worse either way. It's just kind of like interesting that they used it that way. So people complain a lot about the whole plot of him turning people into lizards. But it makes perfect fucking sense. Like, first of all, the serum has made him insane, right?
Yeah, of course.
And also, his perspective is not, I'm just going to turn everyone into giant lizards. He says it immediately, like, after the first test, when he injects himself, he's like, it's no longer about curing disease, it's about finding perfection.
Yes.
Because he starts to believe that
his form is perfection.
That form is you can't take damage.
Yeah,
you're like immortal, basically.
Yeah.
You can heal anything.
Does he say something along the lines of like, oh my god, with this we can cure cancer or some shit like that?
Yeah.
Like,
But he's like, it's no longer about that. It's about finding the perfect form.
Yeah.
And then that turns naturally into, let me have everyone be this.
Yeah.
It's not that weird. Yeah, it's a little goofy that he wants to turn people into lizards, but like it makes sense in the context of the movie. It's not just like, I'm gonna make a lizard bomb. It makes sense why he wants to do it.
Okay, so here's my thing, right? It is slightly ridiculous, and I actually think one of the games goes into this. Like, this is why sometimes the games are better, not better, but sometimes the games are good because they fill in like little gap holes. But I think there's like a mission in a game. I remember I played it, and there's like not everybody got turned back for being lizards. Like some of them were inside,
and they're like,
and they're like, oh shit, like there's still some lizards, like
because if they were inside, they wouldn't have gotten hit by the
thing,
So this little video exposition scene does suck though. The fact that he walks in there and every bit of information that he needs plays on a video. It's like, okay, it's all right. But I think what originally was going to happen is I think he was going to have all that revealed to him in the conversation with Connors, but they cut that, so then they just did the videos. So he goes up. He's wearing the lab coat, full lizard look.
Yep.
And he goes out and he gets fucking lasered by these like SWAT people.
Team, yep.
And then he starts turning them all into lizards and all this shit. Gwen gets he calls it Gwen and she's making the antidote and he's like, you gotta get out of there. He's going there. But she says, fuck you, and I'm going to get everyone out, save everyone, and finish the antidote.
Yes.
And, he's swinging, and dude, the swinging is so fucking good.
Very good.
And, he's getting shot at by the cops, and they finally catch him.
Yep.
He falls down, and I love me a good unmasked shadows fight scene.
This is really good.
I loved it in the other one, too, in Spider-Man 1, when he does it to save Mary Jane.
Yep.
Always loved that. And this one is better, but I mean,
it's way better. It's not. They don't have that awkward moment where it looks like he's a ballerina.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about, right? In the first one, he's like, and he like briskly walks away. Like, okay. He literally gets pinned down at one point with no mask, and he has his head down.
Yeah.
And then he literally he's like, fuck it, and he just turns around like freely. He's just like,
you can see. Yeah, you can see he doesn't want. He has to. He's torn. He when he's like this, and Stacy's behind him, he's like. And he's like, fuck it, I'm going to have to tell him. I'm going to have to get out of here and go save her.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to, but he has to. And this next scene is like so terrifying with the piano. The wizard breaks in and she's hiding in the closet and goes, bang,
yeah.
Bang, and it's like, oh my God, like we're in a horror movie all of a sudden. And he takes the Ganali device.
Yep.
I lose my voice. And I prefer this. Even though it's slightly, I don't know. I've never been to New York. I don't know how many cranes there are in New York at any given time. It's a little bit unrealistic, but I do prefer. I prefer it having a more direct connection rather than in Spider-Man 1, where it's just like, all these random civilians happen to be on the bridge, and they all stopped, all got out of their cars to watch him, and they all had random various objects, and they all love him for some reason, even though J. Jonah Jameson is making him out to be a fucking maniac.
Yeah.
It's like, it's all very specific, but like the fact that it's a direct connection that he saved the guy's kid is a lot better for me.
I get that. It's to be fair, it's very coincidental. There's nothing wrong with it. But the crane part, even though it's supposed to represent something amazing, even though it's supposed to represent something great, it's like, dude, that many cranes.
Yeah.
That many cranes. Like, fuck
I think it's like 5 cranes, 6 cranes.
It's a good like 5 or 6 cranes. Maybe it's like that in New York. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
New
I know,
Yorkers,
that's what I'm saying. I've never been, so I
Yeah.
can't say for sure. I'm sure everyone would say probably unrealistic. But
Hey, yo,
that
fucker!
being
Like,
said, that being said,
still a good
it
scene.
sets up for one of the best swinging scenes.
Okay,
in all of
wait.
Spider-Man.
We went over something. So Captain Stacy said, "Don't everybody hold your fire."
Yeah. Oh, and,
And somebody fucking shoots anyways
Yeah,
and hits him in
fucking
the
moron.
leg.
Yeah.
It hits him in the leg. It injures him clearly.
Yeah.
And it's slowing him down. He's not swinging as fast. Not even web crawling as fast or nothing. That's why this scene's important.
Yeah.
Because if he had a streamlined way to get there, he'd get there much faster. But instead, he has to swing between things. He's crashing. He's like he's struggling. So they see that he's struggling on the news because literally the news is like, "Oh no, it looks like he's slowed down. He might be
Yeah.
injured." So they're like, "Hey, we're supposed to evacuate." He's like, "Hey, no, you still friends with like whatever down
Yeah,
at the
Johnny
street?"
down on 14th
Yeah,
Street.
yeah. And so he's like,
Get his ass on the phone.
Yeah,
it's
and
like
so,
it's
like-
so New York.
yeah, it really is.
Saying.
And then they go and they set up all the cranes, and it's the best. I was about to say amazing again.
the swinging,
coolest part about this is he overconfidently does that first
yeah, he
whip,
can't get there.
and he misses it, right? But then he gets caught specifically by the crane guy.
So-
a little unbelievable.
Yeah.
but
So the best thing about this is they have an actual reason that they can give him to just latch onto something in the middle of the air instead of just saying, fuck it, people won't notice. We'll just have him latch onto the air.
Yeah,
No, he actually has something where he can latch onto the middle,
Yeah.
and that's why he can get such cool ass swings.
and his
flips
swings
going.
they're just amazing.
And I love.
God damn it! Sorry, go ahead.
What?
I said amazing
Oh,
again.
okay. When he actually gets there and starts fighting the lizard, the first person shots and they're actually so cool. They're not just a gimmick.
No,
they're
they're
actually fucking cool. Like when he throws him off the edge and you
Yes.
see him have to like line up the web to save himself.
Yeah.
And shit, like it flows very well. It's not
does.
just like a gimmicky like, Doom, we're gonna make the whole thing in first person. You know what I mean? It's like it's very very cool. So he gets up there, he's fighting him. He crushes his web shooters.
Yep.
We talked about this. Why this is so much more interesting.
Yeah, because
than
now he-
having
now-
organic web
now
shooters
he can-
because.
What are they gonna do? What are they gonna do? Slit Tobey Maguire's wrist? Like,
Yeah,
can't he just
exactly.
fucking-
You have to cut his arms off.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
And even then, he could probably still shoot.
yeah, out of the stump. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stumpy.
Fucking
So-
stumps of webs.
Stumpy Maguire. So he's Captain Stacy comes up and helps him, and fucking he brings the antidote to him.
Yeah.
And he starts lighting the lizard up.
Oh wait, you skipped a really cool scene. I know we're trying to we're not trying to rush it, but we're trying to like get to the end of the
We're trying
episode.
to rush it.
Yeah, we're trying to rush it a little bit, but you just skipped the one scene where it's great because she's like, "Oh, you need to bring this in there. You know, there's a lot of people that are gonna need this." Blah blah blah. Gwen talking to her dad, and
Yeah.
he's like, "I get it. Your boyfriend is Spider
Yeah.
or something like that."
And then she also
she's
goes,
like,
"Please make sure he's safe."
Yeah,
Which is like,
yeah.
oh, that's nice.
"Yeah." Oh, we skipped over. Oh, we're stupid. So the scene where Peter's injured. Okay, where Peter's injured and he goes to Gwen Stacy at the window. No, not that. No, I'm saying when he gets the rip in his chest.
Oh, yeah.
And Gwen and him have an extremely important conversation. She's like, "No, I've seen this before." She's like, every morning when my dad
That's
would
what I'm
wake
saying.
up, yeah,
Her character's
it's so good.
well
she's
developed.
like, I'm always scared that he's never gonna come back home.
She's a real, genuine
Yes.
character,
Yeah.
unlike Mary Jane.
This, yeah. So this scene's really important because of what happens next.
Yeah,
so she's
exactly.
like, I'm always scared that my dad's never gonna come back home. And she's like, I don't need another person like this in my
Mm-hmm.
life. Hey, it's okay, don't worry about it. After this movie, you only have one person to worry about. But
So, Connors catches, Stacy, kills him
yes,
straight through, all the way
Dude,
through.
straight
They make
through.
a point to make
to
sure you
make
see
sure
it
you
goes
know.
through.
Yes.
And then, he dies, but he launches the antidote. And then Connors
Like how we're just
catches.
skipping over this.
Yeah,
Sorry.
well, I mean, there's not
It's
much
a
to
good
say.
fight.
I
It's
guess.
a decent-
It's a
it's
great
a
fight,
decent
but
fight.
we
It's
don't need to
not
go in detail on
amazing,
the
but
fighting.
it's-
I guess
It's great. Sorry.
enough.
I know. I'm not trying. I promise you, I'm not trying.
Okay,
it sucks
so-
because I use that word too much.
I know, me too. So Connors catches him like as he's de-transforming.
Yes.
And that's great, like as a character moment for him, but also like Spider-Man can stick to walls.
Yeah. Thank you.
Because
Yes.
his arm starts to break off.
You crush his web shooters, not his.
His arm starts to break off.
Yeah.
And then he and then he catches him. But
Yeah.
like Peter could have just like put his hand there. I don't
Yeah.
know. It's fine though. It's good. It's a good.
We get
character
what it's
moment.
supposed to be,
Yeah.
but it's not what it's. Yeah.
So, and then you leave Gwen out of it, and it's like, oh, dude,
he's like, promise me.
promise me one thing. He's
Yeah.
like, I was wrong. The city needs you to
Yes.
keep it safe, but promise me one fucking thing.
Yeah.
that
So
you
what he
won't
says
get her
specifically
killed.
what he says is, yeah, the city will need you. He's like, but you're gonna make enemies.
Yeah.
He's like,
and he
yeah.
says like, hey, make sure to say, and make sure you leave Gwen out of it, and don't break her back in a clock tower. And Peter's like, what? That's very specific. He's like, don't worry, you'll find out in the second movie.
but yeah, but it's really funny.
And then his scream. His like scream that they muffle out, like the sound drops out, but you can hear it in the background when he screams. It's like, jeez,
yeah, dude, it's good. And then he decides to make the decision to separate himself from Gwen.
So here's the thing, right? It took me a while. The first few times that I saw this movie, I was so sure that they were saying it without saying it. Like when he comes home and Aunt May sees him beat to fucking shit, and he pulls out the eggs, and it's really cute.
Yeah.
But like I thought it was like going unsaid, but that they both look at each other and she's like, yeah, I know. I know. But it's not. And I watched the director's commentary and they even say it's not. She's not supposed to know technically, but she knows.
She has a feeling.
But like I was always like, I thought they were directly saying, yeah, what else would it fucking be? That she's watching all this shit on TV and then he comes back beat to a fucking pulp. What, like, put the pieces together, you know what I mean?
No,
that's what I thought it was. I thought she was like, I know, come here. You know? I thought that's what it was, but apparently not. So, I don't know. But the eggs thing is really cute.
Yeah.
And Emma Stone is so good in this scene where she comes out of the door. It's so sad. Yeah. It's so fucking sad. And she knows. She's like, he made you promise, didn't he?
Yep.
Yeah. And it's like...
By the way, Emma Stone, like, I think this is where I started to have a crush on her. I'm not even gonna lie. She's amazing in this movie, dude. She's so cute. She's fucking adorable, dude. She really is. Especially that, like, really sad, like, pouty look that she gives him, like, when she's like,
it's so terrible. Because, but I love, though, in this, it's not because he's some flaky, naive moron.
No.
It's because he actually has a genuine reason to stay away from her.
He's fucking in love with her, but he also made the promise to the dad that died.
And I love May comes up behind her, and she goes, what a pretty girl. and then he's like, I can't be with her. She's like, bullshit. You are perfect for her. Yeah. It's like such a great moment for May. And then he listens to Ben's voicemail, which is great.
Yep.
And like super great for setup for him. And then we see Flash and Peter, and he's like, hey, what's up, man? They're actually friends now.
Yep.
Such a small arc, but it's so nice to see. Just from beginning to end of this movie, he goes through everything. And it's very natural, and I don't question it.
No, it's very well done.
And then the teacher is like, don't make promises you can't keep. And he goes, but those are the best guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're like, ooh,
so good.
They're going to have sex. And,
ooh, they finna fuck.
Yeah, and then we get the zoom out from the lens of, like, his things, and we get this final swing, and it's so fucking good, dude.
Not out of nowhere.
Huh?
Not the webbing.
Yeah, it's going, and the alley isn't endless. It's like a regular length alley.
It's really good.
So everything about it is fucking amazing. And then, did you watch the post-credit scene?
I did. Is this the one where... No, I think I watched the second one.
It's the only one. There's not a post-credit screen in the second one.
Then, it's the only one where he's walking down the thing, and it shows you, like, the glider.
That's not a post-credit scene. That's in the actual movie in the second one.
Then I can't remember.
Post-credit scene in this one is just they put Connors in a cell.
Oh, yes, and it's the person
who shows
up, yeah. That's what it is.
It's kind of shitty.
It is very
really
shitty.
Actually, because like, who the fuck is this guy?
See how forgettable it was?
He's teleporting.
See how forgettable it was?
Well, I've always remembered it, but that's because I remember when I first watched it, there was a lot of theories. People were like, "Oh, it's got to have something to do with Electro," because like the lightning flashes and he comes in and out. I don't know. It's just kind of like it leads to nothing. It was building out to Sinister Six eventually, but we never got there, so it's just
wait
kind
till
of
we talk about the second one. I can't wait. Which sucks because.
We're fine.
Yeah.
So overall, this movie is fucking amazing. It Spider-Man and.
Oh, this is a solid 9. This is a solid 9.
So fucking good.
Solid 9. This is definitely like my favorite Spider-Man movie of all time.
Wildly underrated. It is like Spider-Man, almost to like his peak, like perfect Spider-Man.
Yeah.
There's one other movie that does it better, I think, which we will talk about. Yeah, we're going through all of them.
Yeah.
So, but it's just, and it's also the perfect origin movie. Like this whole movie is the origin, and then you get to the second one. He is Spider-Man.
Yes.
And then if we had gotten to the third one, like I said, I think it would have been like adult Spider-Man. You know what I mean? Not to be depressing because it's never coming out.
I'll talk about it.
Anyway. So thanks for watching, listening. Please go watch this movie if you haven't, or if you have seen it before and you didn't like it, go fucking watch it again because it's great. It's really great. And
all right, and thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.